Here we go. We're live again. Hello, everybody. It's Friday. BBQ Talks. Myself and Matt. We got a good guest on. Very interesting. If you want to know about where all the stickers come from, this guy's going to be able to tell you. So, anyway, what have you been up to this week, then, Matt? What have you been doing with yourself? Have you seen anything good in barbecue? Or?
But to be fair, I've been massively busy this week, so barbecue's not really been at the forefront of my agenda. I managed to cook a few things. Did some smash burger, which you've probably seen.
Oh yeah, that croissant thing you put up on Instagram was absolutely banging, mate. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they are sexual. That was from Danny last week. I had a look on his burger Instagram. Oh my god! I thought, yeah, that's got to be tried. And I was thinking, yeah, croissant going to be quite sweet with the burger. To be fair, can't really taste it. It's quite nice. It's like lighter than a bun or a brioche kind of bun. It's just goes really nice. I think the sweetness came from the caramelized onion chutney. It was lush. That was real good, real good. What about you, mate? What have you seen? Anything?
Yeah, I saw some. Excuse me. I saw a really interesting thing. Well, I didn't see it. I actually heard it off the Barbecue Central show this morning. On the second segment of the show, they were talking about Father's Day gifts. So, Grill Girl from thegrillgirl.com come up with this really excellent idea. It was basically, you can't get anything delivered now. Get off to your local garden centre, buy a Weber fire starter and fill it up with barbecue goodies and give it out to your dad or whoever you want to give it to on Father's Day. And I thought it was a really good idea.
Tell you what, they could do that with a Weber fire starter, and just fill it with rubs. I'd be over the moon with that.
It's really cool idea.
I reckon next week I've got a challenge for you, Ryan. You up for it?
Go on then.
So I reckon we need to create a list, right? You create 5 items you think that anybody starting out in barbecue should buy.
Okay.
Bar the barbecue. Obviously, the barbecues are given, but 5 accessories that you'd buy to start your barbecue career in the right direction. I'll come up with 5. We'll have a chat about them next week.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. We'll see what we come up with.
That's it. See what differences we have. I've got to say a few thank yous to a couple of people today. Obviously, Russell from the Rusty Barbecue Company. You probably, if you've been tuned into my Instagram, I'm doing a giveaway for his rubs and his sauces on there. Russell, great guy. He's been on here with Tom in the first week we were doing it. He's a great lad, really is. And his rubs are fucking amazing, especially that chip dust. And we've shared a few jokes about some new products that he's thinking about. So hopefully he's gonna do some more in the pipeline. Got to say thank you to the UK Barbecue and Smoking Group on Facebook. If you're not already subscribed to them, go and have a look at them. Thank you guys for letting me advertise our show on your Facebook group. Thanks very much. I think that's probably all the thanks at the minute. I think so. Go and check out my Instagram, people.
Go and have a look at Max.
Go and check it out. And sign yourself up for the giveaway. The rubs, they're spot on. 3 rubs, 2 barbecue sauces on there.
There we go. Smoking cues. There you are. I'll put you there, so everyone can see where you are, so they know where to go. Right. So who we got in the chat? Let's say Pickles is there. Tom is there. Russell's there. Lep, how you doing, brother? And we got Steve as well.
Steve's in. Nice. Russell's in the chat as well. All right, Russ. Russell's in from the Rusty Barbecue Company.
So what beer have you got then before we get going? Actually, let's not leave Lou in the chat for too long. Let's get him in and say hi. This is Lou from Uncle Lous BBQ. If you haven't got his stickers, you probably soon will. So
absolutely right.
Hi everyone.
Hey,
Hi buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Good. So what we normally do is we talk about what drinks we've got. I mean, mine is really not that exciting today, at the minute anyway. It's some Get Up and Go juice, Monster Energy drink, I'm afraid, guys. But I'd rather not fall asleep whilst doing this, so I'll have that, and then I'll move on to some Swedish cider. Record a leg. Is it gonna? There we go. If you do it slowly, you get it in without it taking away the background. There you go. Yeah. And then for when it all goes wrong, I got myself some American sweeties today. Some Mike and Ike's. There you go.
Oh, that's cool. What are you
drinking, Ryan?
What am I drinking? I've got some Brewdog Clockwork Orange Tangerine Session IPA. So that's quite nice.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's got a really good strong. It actually tastes of tangerines a little bit. A tangerine beer. That's good. Then I'm going to work my way into some proper dark English ale in a little while. I'm just going to have a couple of them to get the engine started. Then we'll be off and running. What about you, Lou? Have you got what beverages have you got tonight?
Well, I'm guessing it's okay if I do shout outs to companies and products and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
Of course you can, mate.
So what I have here is this is a brewery in an area called Tatamagouche, Nova Scotia, and it's called Jitney. It's a dry hop sour. I used to be one of these people that didn't like IPAs or sour beers, but I find now that I'm getting a little bit older and stuff, I really enjoy them. I enjoy rattlers and stuff, which is like usually it's like grapefruit juice mixed with beer. Those are very popular here in Canada. And I enjoy those in the summertime. And I've started, I'm really kind of gravitating towards like more of the bitter beer. I don't really like anything really dark or heavy like a porter and stuff. So that's what I'm drinking today.
All right.
So it's got a really nice bitter finish to it.
Sounding like you're on a very, very similar flight path to me then this evening.
Yeah. Yeah. We're pretty fortunate here in Canada. The craft brewery scene is really exploded over the last few years. And like here in Ottawa, which is Canada's capital, I'd say we probably have 3 or 4 different breweries around. And these breweries would make quite a bit of beer, and they all have like their own kind of style and signature. And a lot of these breweries, they're set up in such a way that you go to them and they have their merchandise and stuff too, but a lot of them have like restaurants as part of the brewery. So you go in and you can sit there and eat, and they'll recommend like what food to pair with the different types of beers, or you can get like a flight of beer. And then usually what they do is they'll have like the tanks behind like a big glass wall, so you can see them making the beer as you're sitting there enjoying it and stuff. So there's quite a few of them here in Ottawa, and then there's a lot more in Toronto and all across Canada. So and then where the liquor laws are a little bit different here in Canada than they are in other places. So where I live, the liquor laws are governed by the province. So in the province of Ontario, for the most part, any hard liquor, we have to go to the actual LCBO store, which is like the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. So there's specific stores that sell hard liquor. And then for beer, we used to go to a store actually called the Beer Store. But now the government has realized that after so many years, some of us are actually adults and we can actually buy beer at other locations. So we can buy them now at grocery stores. And that started about a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. So for the longest time, if you wanted beer or liquor, you had to go to a different store. You couldn't go to your local corner shop or to a grocery store. You had to go to a store that specifically sold that.
Oh, wow.
But we were able to buy beer from all over the place, all over the world, and a lot of local beers and stuff. So we're pretty lucky, especially at the it seems like at the liquor store that sells the hard liquor, they have a better beer selection than the beer store.
Mm-hmm.
Beer store, you kind of go there to kind of get your big cases of 24 beer and stuff. But at the liquor store, it's more, I guess they're more selective and stuff. So I really like buying beer in cans so I can kind of try different things and stuff. And I just find it more convenient in cans than having to deal with glass bottles. And yeah, I'm even able to buy beer from Europe, like from Portugal, from England, from Scotland and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as good as if you're having it there, but it's good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, we've got quite a good sort of craft ale scene in the UK at the moment. There's loads of people making it, and they're all making really good sort of products as well. So we're quite lucky at the minute, to be fair. And to be fair, all of the American IPAs and stuff, and all of their craft beers that I've had over here are pretty nice as well. Like all of the Adams sort of ghost ships and all that sort of thing. Yeah, they make nice beer. There we go. Got a question from Charlie Pickles in the chat. He just said, what's your favourite beer to cook with?
My favorite beer to cook with? Well, I don't tend to put beer in my food. I'm usually using that to fuel me while I'm cooking and stuff. But I'd say probably like, I don't know, probably like just a good lager or a good pilsner. And usually I'll put beer when I'm cooking something up, like grilling shrimp, or I haven't grilled octopus yet, but that's something I want to try. That's something that's something I grew up eating because my family is Portuguese.
Yeah. So
even though I was born here in Canada, I'm what you call a first generation Canadian. So there's a big Portuguese. A lot of Portuguese people here in Canada, and we have a large community where I grew up, and so we grew up eating a lot of that stuff at home, like freshly grilled sardines and octopus and stuff. So I'm trying to get back into learning how to do that, because when you're a kid, you watch your parents do it, but you're not really paying attention, and you're thinking, well, I'll never need to know how to do that. And now that I'm getting older, it's like, yeah, I kind of need to know how to do that. So, yeah.
My experience of that sort of food on holiday, I've been to Portugal on holiday a few times. It's just a great big flat top charcoal grill, and they just you can go to the beach, and there's normally a guy there. He's caught the fish and he's just gutted them, stuffed them with lemon, bang, straight on the grill. Within a couple of minutes you've got a beautiful, it's so nice. A cold beer and like a bit of fish cooked like that is just so simple but so good.
Yeah, I would say that the barbecue, like I've been to Portugal a few times because I still have a lot of family, aunts and uncles and cousins there. And I'd say, the barbecue scene there, it's more with the grilling, and it's always over charcoal. I don't think, I've never seen anyone like grill fish. I think it would be considered a capital offense to grill fish over a gas grill or something. And usually it's very simple, freshly caught fish, usually sardines, but now that like when I was a kid, like say 20, 30 years ago, everyone would eat sardines and they wouldn't even touch the mackerel. But now that the sardine stores have gone down, people have kind of switched, and so they eat a lot of stickleback and mackerel. But if given the choice, they'll always want to eat fresh sardines instead. But yeah, it's always fresh, grilled with a little bit of flake salt, and away you go. Yeah,
it's perfect on a beach, sitting there munching on the holiday memories. Seems so far away. But here we go. Right, so should we get cracking with some questions then?
Absolutely.
All right, so how did you? Well, it's going to be fair. This is quite a fairly obvious question, actually. So let's skip that one.
No, you can ask it. Let's start off with the
t-shirts. How did you get onto doing all of your t-shirts?
How did I? all the t-shirts. Well,
your current t-shirt collection that you're rocking on Instagram. Some of those are pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you. I'm at day 38. I didn't think people would like it as much. Started it more for just to make myself laugh. But whenever my wife and I go on vacation, and we go somewhere, I'd rather buy a T-shirt than get any other type of souvenir. Like I don't need a mug or a keychain or anything like that. So I'll usually try to buy a T-shirt of that local location. And I like wearing T-shirts at home as sort of like, you know, the clothes you're going to wear when you're kicking around, doing, you know, out barbecuing or doing yard work or whatever, and relaxing. So I started with that, just getting T-shirts of the places I'd visit or restaurants I'd go to and stuff. And then when I started getting into barbecuing, I started buying barbecue T-shirts from the certain accounts that sold shirts. And then it's like anything, you know, when you start doing these searches for like barbecue T-shirts on Amazon or whatever, then next thing you know, oh, surprise, surprise, it starts showing up on your Facebook feed or Instagram and stuff. It's like, how did they know I was looking at this? But so I started getting these suggestions stuff for these T-shirts, and they just got funnier and funnier. And so when because of the whole COVID lockdown and stuff, I watch a lot of like comedy podcasts and stuff, and they started talking about this Tiger King thing. And is the Tiger King popular in Britain or in England? Sorry.
Yeah. It's
okay.
Yeah, I can't even describe it.
I forgot to ask, what part of England are you guys from?
I'm from the southwest of England.
Oh, okay.
I'm from just outside London, sort of like more North London, a little outside the Chiltern Valley, basically. So it's sort of a little bit more countryside. Well, I suppose you must be quite countryside where you are as well, you Matt, if you're near down there, that neck of the woods. So,
we are in the nation's capital. So like we're like the city of Ottawa, our population is just under 1 million people, but the city's very spread out. And so you'll have like the city core and stuff, and you'll have like more of the metropolitan area. And then as you get out of the city core, you get more into suburbs. But then if you drive any direction, like you can drive from downtown, if you drive in any direction for an hour, you're quickly into the countryside. So once you get out of the city core, it's all countryside around here.
Yeah.
So
I'm sort of an hour out of town, so it's like nice. Yeah, both worlds really.
Yeah, we're not as densely populated as places like Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal. So, so with the T-shirts, I started watching Tiger King during COVID because our lockdown started around March 13th. So we've been under lockdown. Like I haven't been able to work from the office for the last 3 months. I've been fortunate enough to be able to work from home. So there's been no there's still that continuity. We're not having to my wife and I are still able to work, and we don't have to worry about all the stuff like that, like losing our jobs. So we were watching Tiger King, and then I saw these T-shirts for sale. So I got those, and that's what prompted me to think, well, when I'm during lockdown, I know that I'm going to be very busy with my daytime job. So, but I still want to be able to try to post something every day, or at least every day when I'm working and stuff. And these are shirts that I couldn't wear in the office. So it's like, well, let me start this. And I didn't realize how many shirts I had until I took them all out and stuff. And so I'm at day 38 now, and I still have quite a few shirts and stuff. So I'll just keep doing it until I run out of shirts. So so it was just something to do during COVID and stuff, because I knew I wouldn't have time to grill as much. So but I still wanted to kind of have something to post every day and just kind of do it for my own purposes to make myself laugh. But surprisingly, other people are getting a kick out of it. So it's all good.
Yeah, I think they're really cool. When they come up on my feed, it always makes me smile. Some of them T-shirts you got, they're brilliant.
The one that made me chuckle the most is the I was washing my hands before it was cool T-shirt. That did make me chuckle quite a lot.
I think one of my favorite ones.
There's been a few of them that have made me chuckle.
We have an insurance company, like a car and home insurance company here in Canada called State Farm, and their tagline is "Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there." And my favorite T-shirt is the one that says "Like a good neighbor, stay over there." So that's the one. Of all the recent ones that I've got, that's my favorite one. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Right.
Your stickers and your magnets, somewhat legendary, aren't they?
Oh, thank you.
I think I'd go as far as to say I reckon you were probably one of the first that started the whole sticker trend. And
well,
if you
that's
weren't,
kind of you to say.
many people have your sticker and your magnet somewhere in their collection.
Well, I'm happy to send them out. Yeah. So I was just before we started the podcast, I wanted to look back to see when I started on Instagram, and it was in March of 2014. So it's been 6 years, and I just hit 6,000 followers today. So my growth has been kind of slow, but my main thing is I didn't want to do what like some people do, where they go and pay for followers and that kind of thing. I know some accounts that they started last summer and they're over 100,000 and stuff, and it's like, well, how do you grow so quickly, right? But I know I'm not like a 25-year-old girl, so I can't use my sex appeal and stuff to gain followers. So I was thinking, well, what's a fun way to kind of get my name out there, get my brand out there, and I saw that some people would send stickers when you bought products and stuff from them. So if you bought like a rub or whatever, they would send you a sticker. And I thought, well, why don't I make my own sticker, like get my own sticker out there and start sending it out. And so I found this company that does both stickers and magnets. And I said, okay, well, some people don't want to be putting like a sticker right on their smoker and stuff. So I'll send them both. And the magnets work out good too, because then I can send them, I can give them to my friends at work, and I know they're not going to be. I work in an office for the federal government, so I know that they're not. If I gave them stickers, they'd probably be sticking them places where they're not supposed to be. So I gave them magnets, and so when I walk around my office and stuff, walk around the floor, I can see my little barbecue stickers on everyone's like filing cabinets and stuff. So I really like that. And it's just something I said, well, if I'm gonna, instead of me, doing what some people do and pay for followers, I'll just start with the stickers and stuff. And oftentimes, when as soon as I get like a new follower, I'll contact them and I'll say, I'll send them, say, would you like a sticker free of charge and stuff? Let them know that it's free. And most people say yes. Some people say no, thank you, because they don't want to share their address, and that's fine. And I never keep anyone's address because that's not what I'm about. So as soon as I send them the sticker, I delete it off my phone, and I'll never remember where they are. And then after a little bit and stuff, then they'll some of them are kind enough to post to their feed or to their story and tag me on and stuff. So it's a lot of fun, and I've it's pretty interesting. Some of the places I've sent it to. I've sent a lot to Germany, a lot to England, a few to Scotland and Wales, some to Italy. I think the farthest I've ever sent, the farthest from Canada, is probably Japan. I sent a few to Japan. Not too many in Africa, which I'm surprised, because you think like the barbecue culture would be pretty big, but they're probably just not communicating in English on Instagram. So it's kind of hard to, unless I know what language they're speaking, it's kind of hard to get in there and stuff. So and then a lot to Australia and stuff too. So a lot of people really seem to enjoy them and stuff, and it's nice getting feedback saying, oh yeah, I've seen your sticker all over the place.
Yeah, you're totally global by the sounds of things. You're everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, it's been a slow build for me. Like just today, like about an hour ago is when I hit my 6,000th follower, and it probably took me a year to get from 5,000 to 6,000. So I know some people are able to grow their followers faster because they post every day and stuff. But I want to keep my account more about barbecue and stuff. So I'm not just going to post random things, random thoughts to my feed or memes and stuff like that. That's not what I'm interested in. And because it's just my wife and I at home with our dog, so I can't be grilling every day because it's just too much food. stuff. So I figured, okay, well, I'll grill what I want to grill, and then otherwise I'll just kind of grow my brand with the stickers and magnets. And yeah, people really enjoy them. And a lot of accounts, they'll say, I was their first sticker they ever received, and then they started their sticker collection. And it's kind of cool when you see your sticker posted with a bunch of other stickers on someone's wall or fridge and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's once you get into it and stuff, then you realize how there's a big following of there's people that collect just stickers, just plain stickers, but then there's also a lot of people that are really into the bar stickers and stuff as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So I had some stickers made, right? I thought, no, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. I ordered them, and you know the rule of measurement.
Oh yeah.
Well, I ordered what I thought were like 8-inch, but you know they're not really that big, are they?
No.
Yeah, so I don't really know what I'm going to do with those. Rather small. Yeah, they're probably not going to be sent to anybody. I'll have to get some bigger ones. I think I reckon you were the first person to reach out to me to say, "Do you want a sticker?"
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yours was the first one. I said, "Yeah, send me a sticker." Ryan's was the first one I got, and then yours shortly followed after. And funnily enough, hold on, I'm getting down there. There it is. Wow, you can't really see it. It is on the battery box, along with some others. There you go. Ta-da! Come on, zoom work, please. There we go. Ryan, Dutchy, and the Rusty Barbecue Company. So there's more to be had, definitely. But yeah, I think yours was probably the first one that, yeah, you were the first guy to say, "Do you want one?" It started the fascination.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of guys in the chat that are looking to get a sticker from you as well. So
there's kind of a community upon _US_barbecue. Just send me a DM and I'll send you a sticker. You usually send out a sticker and a magnet in the envelope, so charged, no problem. Someone sent me a message yesterday. I messed up once and double batch of magnets instead of a magnet and stickers, so I just sent out 2 stickers to people. And someone messaged me yesterday saying that it's on the vents at the bottom of their drum smoker as part of their cool down process. So wow. I figured, well, they're useful too. So there you go.
It's quite funky.
You don't have to just stick them on a fridge and stuff. You can use them. They have a bit of utility and stuff to them as well. So yeah, I'm happy. People seem to really enjoy them, and I'll even hand them out to people that aren't into the barbecue scene, just like my favorite shops and stuff. I'm out traveling, whatever. I'll say, would you like a barbecue sticker? And it's very rare that someone will say no. Some people will say no just because they don't want to start collecting. And I couldn't even fathom to guess how many years I've sent out, but it's probably in the thousands at this point after all these years, because I've been doing it over 5 years, so it's quite a few.
Yeah, there's loads out there. There's absolutely loads and loads out there from what I've seen. They're pretty cool. They're really cool stickers as well. Off air, me and Matt were talking about it when we sort of like, oh yeah, Lou's coming on. No, it was so happy. Like, oh, I've got your stickers. Matt's got your stickers. Everybody's got your stickers, and they're really, really well made. They're really cool. They're nice and big. Yeah. Got a good graphic on them.
I thought I said to you, didn't I, when it arrived, I was like, this thing's massive.
Yeah, really,
if I can give a shout out to the company, it's actually a company called Sticker Mule, and they're in the U.S. But they're in upstate New York, so they're only like about an hour from where I am in Ottawa, because Ottawa is close to the U.S. border. It's only about an hour's drive, maybe I don't know, maybe like 120, 130 kilometers from the U.S. border. So when I order them stuff, even with the exchange rate, it's not that expensive, and it's always, after all these years, it's always very consistent quality, and I'll get people contacting me, ask me who does their stickers and stuff. The only thing that kind of makes me sad is sometimes I'll get people in Europe asking me where to get, like, where I got my stickers and where could they get their stickers printed, and I have no idea, because it would be way too expensive for someone in say Germany or England to order stickers. But I know there are local print shops there that do that kind of stuff, so they usually kind of figure it out. And the fun thing about the stickers is you also I also receive a lot as well. I probably have hundreds and hundreds of stickers that I have to get around to putting up on my bar fridge and stuff. But whenever I get them, I always post them and stuff, and I hope that my followers check my stories every day so they can see where I got stickers from, and then they can go out and contact those people to get stickers as well, because all the stickers I get for free. I've never had to pay for a sticker, so it's a great community.
Pickles wants to know what's something you use for cooking for. Oh, my life! Sometimes he confuses me with his words. What's something he uses for cooking spice-wise for Portuguese cooking? If that makes sense. Or that people need to use cook more with.
Oh, sorry, did I lose you guys?
Yeah, just a little bit. No worries.
Okay.
So, he was asking spice-wise in something that the Portuguese would use for cooking that people need to use more of, in your opinion. Well,
it's funny because the Portuguese cuisine is influenced by other cultures and stuff too, because they had explorers that went to like India and stuff, so like some dishes use a lot of saffron, but those are more for things like a rice like a stew, like a seafood stew and stuff. You use saffron. But I would say if you want to kind of really get that Portuguese taste, you use piri piri sauce. So piri piri sauce, I believe it's a type of like pepper that's from Northern Africa, and they take that pepper and make it into like basically a hot sauce and stuff, and you put that on like some freshly grilled chicken and fish, and it's really good. So I'd say piri piri as a hot sauce is one thing that you can kind of adopt, something that'll give you sort of like that Portuguese cuisine taste. Other than that, like when we grill chicken and stuff, oftentimes we will spatchcock it and have it flat, and then it's just seasoned with kosher salt, and then grilled simply, and then you put on a barbecue sauce made of like melted butter, some of the piri piri, so maybe some garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of black pepper, like just kind of keep it simple. But usually with grilled meats and stuff, we kind of like hot sauce and stuff like that. But then for fish, we don't mess with it. We just grilled with salt and freshly grilled with a little bit of flake salt and maybe a little bit of really good olive oil and raw garlic, and that's it.
Yeah, good. A nice salad as well, generally, isn't it? Really, lots of onions, as I remember. Sort of like really oniony salads and things like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I find when we go to Portugal, and the way that my cousins have explained is that when Portuguese people want to go to a restaurant, they just want meat. they don't want to because it's like, well, vegetables, they grow their own vegetables. They don't. So usually if you get a salad, at least like where my parents are from, it's from the Porto region. So it's more in the northern part of Portugal. So if you go to a restaurant and stuff, they'll just give you like, maybe a little bit of tomato, a little bit of red raw onion, some lettuce if you're lucky. Salads aren't really a big thing where my family is. It's more about people want to go out and eat meat, like chicken.
I need to move where your family is then.
Yeah, but it's.
I am not a grazing animal.
But then when they're at home and stuff, they'll eat like a lot more vegetables and stuff. Things like collard greens are really popular. We have a soup that we make with collard greens. That's where it's all julienned up and stuff, and it's almost like a cream of potato soup with collard greens in it. But yeah, that's really good. And growing up in Canada, we still ate a lot of Portuguese style food and stuff. So that's the kind of so it was, I got exposed to that even living here.
Ah, cool. So, tell us about what sort of barbecue kit you're rocking then. This I've been waiting for this question.
Oh, okay. So I
have you got a list?
I got a list. I had to write it down because I didn't make sure and stuff. So I have 6 smokers at my house here in Ottawa. So I have a Big Green Egg Mini Max, a large Big Green Egg, an 18-inch Weber Smoky Mountain. That's like those bullet style smokers. I have a Weber Performer cart, which is the Weber grill that's on like a little wheeled cart. I'm hoping that you guys have the same things in England. So something that's still.
Yeah, but lost the shit.
And then, so for the longest time, I was really into charcoal and stuff, and it's like, well, I want to try something new, and I wanted to try pellet grilling. And it's funny because on the Instagram accounts here in like when some followers and stuff, some people are very pro charcoal and they'll never touch pellet grills, and they refer to pellet grills as like the easy bake oven of barbecuing. But I like the convenience. I like the convenience of the pellet grill, and I got the pellet grill. I actually have 3 pellet grills now. So I have a Traeger Pro 34, and then I have a Traeger Ironwood 885. And I got those because with the size of them and stuff, like sometimes I'll smoke up large cuts of meat, and then I'll do like a pulled pork or a brisket lunch at work to raise money for a charity. So at one point I had 3 whole pig legs on my Traeger Pro 34, and it took like 28 hours to smoke these 3 whole pig legs. But then I had enough pulled pork to make like, I think it was like 120 sandwiches.
That's a serious amount of pork.
So I got the pellets more. I got into pellet smoking more for the capacity and stuff, because it gave me larger capacity, and it was just something more, because I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, well, if I got a pellet grill, then I have more excuse to buy accessories, because I'm sort of like a gadget guy and I really like having a lot of accessories. So I have the Traeger Pro 34 and then the Traeger Ironwood 885, and then I leave for a time there. My family's from Kingston, which is 2 hours away from Ottawa, and I left a couple grills there to use when I visit. So I have a PK grill. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's like it's a cast aluminum grill, and it's like a clamshell, and the clamshell can come off, and you can have different stands on it. So I picked that up on Boxing Day last year, and had that sent to Kingston. And then I have my Traeger Ranger, which is sort of like a suitcase size smoker. So I have that in Kingston. And then every summer, my wife and I will go to Nova Scotia in the eastern part of Canada to visit her family, because that's where she's from. And I have I have 4 smokers there, and I have a 5th one being sent. So I have a Louisiana grill, ceramic grill. So it's about the size of a large Big Green Egg. So I got a Louisiana ceramic grill there. I have a 22-inch kettle. It's just like a cheap brand that I got from the grocery store. And then I have a Mastercraft electric smoker, which is a cabinet. That's actually my father-in-law's, but I consider it mine because he never uses it. I use it to make stuff for him. Like one of the things that he really likes is salmon jerky. So I learned how to do that, where you take like a side of salmon and you cure it in a mixture of like molasses and brown sugar and soy sauce. So you got a mixture of both the salt and the sugar. And the molasses gives it that nice kind of mahogany look to it. And then I smoke that and make them a bunch of stuff when I go and visit. And then I'm also getting what's called an A smoke grill, which is a new grill that just came out on Kickstarter, and it's like the Traeger Ranger, so it's like a suitcase grill. So that's 13 that I have now. One of my favorite.
Shame.
One of my favorite followers on Instagram is Ted Reader. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ted Reader. He's a chef in Canada, and he's quite popular in Canada, and he wrote a bunch of different cookbooks and stuff. And he probably has 40 or 50 smokers in his backyard, and he's at the level where he'll get grills sent to him by companies for him to try out and stuff, and he says try it out and keep it and stuff. So he has a lot. There's another woman called BBQ. She's a brand ambassador for Traeger. And she probably has 40 or 50 grills in her backyard. So
BBQ.
Some people I'm fortunate enough to have a yard big enough where I can store all this stuff. So as long as
that's smoker central around your house. It must be.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
it's all in my backyard, right? And then one of the things I did is I went and put a 7-foot fence around my backyard. So because I used to have a chain link fence, and then I replaced it with a wood fence so people can't look into my backyard and see what I have. But I can only put one at a time. Yeah. But I'm not the only one that's into this, where like they'll kind of collect different grills and stuff. So it just kind of, everyone's kind of different. I always refer to Instagram because that's where I'm most active. There's some people that are very brand loyal, and they're like, they only stick with one brand and stuff, and that's it. But I kind of want to be able to, sometimes I want to be able to cook on a pellet grill. Sometimes I want to cook on a charcoal grill. The only thing I don't have is a gas grill. I used to have a gas grill for the longest time, and after I didn't touch it for 2 years, I said, well, it's time to get rid of it. So I just left it out on the street on garbage day, and it's kind of a custom here in Canada that if you leave a barbecue out and stuff, someone else will come along and take it and fix it up and use it for themselves. So it's sort of like a free cycle kind of thing. Same thing as lawnmowers. So if you don't want something anymore, you can just leave it out on garbage day or on any other day with a sign free, and eventually it'll go away. Someone will take it. So.
No, we've got a question here from the chat. Charlie said, "What kind of pellets do you like to use in your pellet smokers?"
I like Traeger, but we're fortunate enough that we can buy a lot of different brands. So the Traeger company is quite large here in Canada. They are an American company, but they also have dealers here in Canada. So you can go to like pretty much, and we're fortunate enough that we have dedicated barbecue shops. So a lot of barbecue shops, there'd be like an extension of like a home hardware, like a home improvement store. So if you go to a place like Lowe's or Home Depot, you can buy stuff there. But then there are a few places around Canada that are exclusively barbecue shops. So it'll be where like they sell a bunch of different grills, but then they also sell outdoor furniture, outdoor fireplaces and stuff, and like patio furniture, that kind of thing. Yeah. And so there's a few of them. And one of my favorite companies is Dixon Barbecue. They're in Toronto, and they have a deal. They have a deal where if you order stuff over, if your order is over $99, which isn't too hard to get over $99 if you're buying like a few bags of pellets, they'll ship for free anywhere in Canada. And as you know, Canada is a big place. Yeah, they'll ship anywhere in Canada for free, and it's usually like, if I go and order something on a Monday morning, it's at my house by Wednesday. It's that quick.
That's good.
Yeah. So I'd say Traeger's my favorite, but then there's also some local companies that make their own pellets. So like Furtado Woods, they're in the Toronto area. I like their pellets. I'm not one of these people that thinks, oh, I have a Traeger, I can only use Traeger pellets. It's funny because some people will ask that question on Facebook. Where am I gonna void my warranty if I don't use a Traeger pellet? And it's like, nope, pellets are pellets. Just don't use fuel pellets, and you'll be fine. And I really like using I say I almost exclusively use cherry and apple. I use cherry when I smoke beef, and then I use apple if I'm smoking pork, and then I use maple pellets when I'm curing my own bacon. So I'll cure the bacon in maple syrup, and then I'll also smoke it in maple wood. I really like the flavors. I don't like mesquite or hickory, so I just don't use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really cool.
I've got a thing for old whiskey barrels at the minute.
Okay.
I can't get enough of it. I think it's more the smell than the taste. It's just I sit there and it's like
there's. I think it was the company last year. I can't remember because we have a bunch of different companies that we can buy grills from, and I think it was Camp Chef. They actually made charcoal-based pellets, so you could have a pellet grill, but you could get charcoal like smell by burning the charcoal pellets in their smoker and stuff. So I haven't had a chance to try those, but if I do, I'll definitely talk about it on Instagram.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, I'd say when I'm doing stuff like jerky or making like smoked nuts and stuff, I use my pellet grill, and then or when I'm smoking big cuts of meat, I use my pellet grill. But then if I'm just doing like a quick grill and stuff, I like my charcoal grill. And I'd say I probably use my Weber Former Cart the most.
Really? Even what about your big green eggs? They're quite efficient cookers, aren't they?
Yeah. I feel like I'm neglecting them and stuff because they kind of just sit there. Like I have covers for all my smokers and stuff, so it keeps the dust and pollen and stuff off of them. But yeah, I feel kind of it's like they were my first girlfriend and I've moved on and they're kind of being neglected and stuff. So, but
I mean, if you want to pass your sloppy seconds to me, I'll pay for the shipping.
Okay.
Yeah, just leave it out the front of your house for UPS to come and get it.
I'll come and get it.
The
You're cheaper than buying a new one.
The big green eggs and stuff, they're really good at. I'd say they're probably like when someone asks me like what kind of smoker and stuff, like what kind of smoker or barbecue should I get, I always ask them, well, what's your budget, right? Because that'll really tell. But if they have a budget such that they can afford a big green egg, because a big green egg is about $1,000 Canadian, but then to get all the accessories and stuff like that, you could easily add another $1,000 if you want to get like a table and all this stuff. So if they're willing to do that, I always tell them that it's the best thing if you want to be able to cook all year round. And I don't know about you folks, but us Canadians, we're a hardy bunch. So I cook on my smokers all year round. Even on the Traegers and stuff. I actually prefer doing a lot of my long smokes and stuff in the wintertime, especially like January and stuff, because it'll be cold, but it'll be dry. You get out there first thing in the morning, or usually if I'm doing something like a brisket, I'll go on at 9:00 at night, and of course no one else is cooking, so then I'm like wafting all this beautiful smoke in the neighborhood. And all the neighbors can smell it when they get out their doors in the morning and stuff. And they're like, oh, Lou's at it again. So my favorite time, if I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff, like if I'm planning on cooking a lot of pulled pork or brisket and stuff to make lunches and stuff at work, I do that like in January and February. Because right now, like if I were to do something like that today, it's like 28 degrees Celsius today here in Ottawa. It's like our spring lasts for about a week or two, and then we go straight into summer, and then it's just hot. Everyone has air conditioning here in their houses and stuff, because you'd suffer if you didn't. So it's not as comfortable to be out in the middle of the night, going out at 9-10 o'clock at night. You don't have to deal I'd have to deal with the bugs and all this stuff, and or neighbors complaining because they have their windows open because they're so I just prefer doing it in January, February, and before I had my pellet smokers, I had my big green egg, and I had this bit of kit called DigiQ Pro Kit. So it's like a Wi-Fi thermometer console, and it has different probes off of it, and then it has like a built-in fan that you put on the lower draft of the big green egg. And so it basically turns your big green egg into like this temperature control system. So, and it will alert you if the temperature goes down and stuff like that. So one of the biggest things when I first started smoking is I'd be worried that the fire would go out in the middle of the night. And if I'm doing these smokes at like, you know, in the middle of January and February, the fire goes out and stuff, I could possibly freeze my food.
Yeah, that's
so I don't have to worry about it spoiling because it gets cold pretty quick. But it's like, then it messes up my timeline and stuff, right? Because it's like, then I have to start all over again. So I got this little DigiQ probe, like temperature control system. And so it just, you know, I'm a tech geek, so I kind of like being able to like check on my phone to see that, you know, how things are cooking and stuff. It's
funny I know one of them guys.
Yeah. It's funny because you have some of these purists, like you have people that are purists. Like if you talk to someone from the southern states, they're like, no, I'm just a stick burner, meaning they use an offset smoker and they burn sticks. So they take their firewood and cut it into sticks and they say, I'm a stick burner. And so they have to baby the fire all night long. They don't sleep and they just have to do it all, right? And like anything beyond that, you're anything beyond that, you're cheating and stuff. But I kind of like the gadgets and stuff. I kind of be able, like the temperature control system on the big green egg, to be able to control things and stuff, and it gives you that ease of mind. And it's the same thing with the Traeger, especially the new Traeger, the Wi-Fi enabled smokers, where you can just check to make sure that the smart fire. So you can check to make sure that everything is running okay and stuff, and you know, and I just think of my Traeger as sort of like my outdoor oven, because it gets so hot here in the summertime that you don't want to be stuck in the kitchen cooking. So I just use that. And on my Weber, I have this thing called an art flame, which is an insert. It's sort of like a donut shape. It looks like a big. It's a donut shaped piece of metal. So think of a flat piece of metal that fits inside the Weber, but it's circular. It fits inside the 22-inch Weber, and then there's a hole in the middle where the fire comes out, and so I can grill food around on the piece of metal. So it's a circular griddle, and I love cooking on that, doing like eggs or pancakes or grilling up burgers and stuff. You can grill it. You can grill on the grill part, but then there's also like this on the center part. You can put like a grill, so then you can still get the flame. You can still flame kiss the burgers and stuff before you take them off. So that's probably my favorite thing to cook on right now.
That's pretty cool.
So
wrong there.
Oh dear. What do you reckon the barbecue scene's like where you are?
Well,
up and coming, established,
it's up and coming. It's up and coming. The thing in Canada is we kind of get overshadowed by the U.S. because, I mean, our population is only a tenth of the size of the U.S. So there's a lot of really good companies like Big Green Egg, Weber, a lot of the really big established barbecue grill and smoker companies. They'll operate here in Canada as well, and they'll have dealers. So whatever. So when you're on website and stuff, and you're looking at something, you can say, well, if they can get that in the U.S., I can get it as well. So there's a lot of people that there's a lot more barbecue restaurants opening up. So it is definitely growing, and I'd say the most challenging thing is just kind of being able to find each other. So I always encourage people to the Canadian accounts to use the hashtag BBQ Canada or hashtag BBQ Family. Hashtag BBQ Canada. So that way we can find each other, because sometimes it's kind of hard, and sometimes you can't tell from someone's Instagram account, or are they Canadian or American? Because I mean, we kind of talk the same as Americans. We use the same expressions. We can buy a lot of the same products and stuff, so it's kind of hard to tell just by looking at someone's picture. Well, where are they? Unless they put their location. So I'd say it's growing, and I've been really trying to grow the barbecue community and get people to follow each other in Canada and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely growing, and there's a lot of people that, you know, they're like, well, I had a gas grill for the longest time, but I couldn't get the flavors I wanted. So then they try a charcoal grill, and then they're like, okay, well, I like a charcoal grill, but then they're like, well, I want to try something else, and then they'll be like me, they'll start buying other grills and stuff.
So what's your sort of fondest memory, and where did you first sort of discover barbecue then?
Well, growing up Portuguese and stuff, like I never ate pulled pork or brisket until I started making it myself. It's not something that I like until just, I'd say in the last 5 years, you started seeing more barbecue restaurants here in Canada. But before, it's not something, briskets is something you would hear about, but it's not something you would necessarily see in Canada. So when I went on vacation in Daytona, I went to a barbecue restaurant and tried the brisket. It was horrible. It was probably the worst thing I'd ever eaten. Really? But I never had brisket before, so I didn't know if that was supposed to taste like that. But then I started following these accounts on Instagram and started watching videos on YouTube to see how they cook brisket. And it's like, oh, that's how brisket's supposed to taste. And it's like, oh no, brisket tastes distinct. It doesn't taste just like roast beef. It has its own taste to it and stuff. So it's not something I grew up eating, but when I was a kid, my fondest memory is having stuff at my family's house that my dad would cook on a charcoal grill, or he even had he had one of those little hibachi grills, and he would grill. He'd grill up sardines. Of course, in Canada, we had to settle with frozen sardines, but they were still good. So grilling sardines and grilling chicken. My dad wasn't really big into like doing hamburgers and hot dogs. He would make them for us as we got older and we started kind of demanding that we wanted it. But otherwise, when we were kids, it's like we didn't, we wouldn't eat. Like hot dogs were something you'd boil inside. You wouldn't grill them on the grill and stuff. And the hamburgers were something that we started eating more when we became teenagers and stuff. But otherwise, I'd say Portuguese style grilled chicken. Now, you were saying that you went on holiday in Portugal, so you probably saw a few shops where they had the spatchcock chicken on a big barbecue charcoal grill, and they were just spinning it and stuff. And yeah. So that's my fondest memory. That kind of stuff, and that's something that we would have every once in a while at home. But otherwise, where I grew up in Kingston, there's a large Portuguese community that all of them came to Kingston in the early 70s. And so we actually built a church, and we'd have religious festivals at the church. So growing up, we'd go to the church and stuff, and they'd have hundreds of barbecue grilled chickens that they'd be selling at the festival and stuff. So it was definitely it's something I grew up eating when as sort of like a celebratory thing, like a party thing and stuff. And and then when going on holiday in Portugal, the grilled fish, the grilled chicken, and then my dad, he was a really big fan of suckling pig. And we never cooked it ourselves. We always went to a restaurant to have it. But being able to have stuff like that, and then challenging myself to say, well, is there some way that I can replicate that? So I haven't done it yet, but it's one of those things I want to try, like doing like a whole suckling pig on a smoker or on a grill or whatever. But I'd say it was more stuff that was grilled, not smoked, that I grew up having as a kid. Those were my fondest memories and stuff. And then as I started this hobby and started kind of following some big accounts and stuff and seeing how they were doing things, it's like, oh yeah, well that's kind of interesting. And like, I mean, the first time I did brisket myself, it was horrible. I bought like just a little brisket point, And so it's all the fat and stuff were trimmed off of it. And I just bought it at the grocery store. And I thought, okay, well, this is just a small amount. And because I didn't want to, because a whole full size packer size brisket that we get, that I smoke now, I'd say it's probably, before it gets trimmed and stuff, it's probably like anywhere from 14 to 10 pounds. And it costs maybe like $80 Canadian. So it's kind of expensive cut of meat. And that's why a lot of people are kind of afraid to try brisket. So I started off just using like a small little brisket point. Yeah. And, and I went on YouTube, like I do for most things, and trying to figure out, like, see how other people do it and kind of figure out the tips and stuff. And so I did it on my big green egg and came out dry as anything, and it was horrible. But I knew I had to keep at it and try. So
yeah, that's the thing.
Just like with my pulled pork, first time I did pulled pork and stuff, my wife didn't like it because just from trial and experiment, my wife and I have discovered we kind of like the same things, which is good. And so we don't, like, when I do ribs for my wife, they're dry ribs, they're not sauced, and we don't like sweet barbecue sauce. We like more of the vinegar style barbecue sauce, more of the ones that have a vinegar cut to them. So
all right,
in the States they consider those more like Kansas City style barbecue sauce is how they refer to it, whereas like Memphis is more molasses and brown sugar based, so I don't really like sweet barbecue sauces. So I knew that when I did pulled pork, I did it a few times and I kind of perfected it and did it the way I liked it and stuff, with the proper crust and everything. So I knew I could perfect brisket, so I just kept at it and stuff. But I'd say the first time I did brisket, and the first time I did ribs was kind of a disaster too, because when you first start learning how to cook on a charcoal smoker, you got to learn, you learn what not to do very quickly. So you learn, okay, you got to give it time. It's not something that you can rush. Like when you go from a gas grill where you can just turn on and it's ready to cook in 10 minutes and it's staring hot. It's like with a charcoal grill, you got to give it time. You don't have time. If you don't have time to let it do its thing, then don't start cooking on it. Like go inside and microwave something or whatever, right? So I would have a bad, I did this a couple times where I'd start the charcoal grill and stuff, and then I put the food on before the smoke had turned into the proper blue thin smoke. So I put it on too early, and so the food would get this really smoky taste to it at the beginning, and then after that point, it's kind of ruined and stuff. So, I'd eat it and stuff, and it's like, well, this is really smoky and stuff, and then it's like, well, what am I doing wrong and stuff, and I would see how other people were doing. It's like, okay, I was putting the stuff on too quickly. So if that's anything that I could share with the people watching and stuff, is that if you're cooking on a charcoal grill, give yourself enough time, like give the fire enough time to burn down, so you don't have a lot of white smoke and you have like kind of that thin blue smoke that's coming out of the chimney, because you're going to get the best results from that. And then just use whatever rub you want to use. Just have fun with it and discover, and don't let people tell you how things should taste. Like, oh, should your ribs fall off the bone tender, or should they be dry? Like, cook things the way that you want to do it, because it's your food.
Absolutely.
And you don't have, like some people,
it's your food. You spending the time cooking it.
Yeah, some people, like, they do this whole thing where they'll smoke the ribs and then they wrap them, and they're wrapping it in like honey with butter and brown sugar in aluminum foil, and it's smoking all that stuff. And that's fine if you want to do that, but I don't want my ribs to fall off the bone. I kind of want a little thing to them.
Bit of a bite to them. It all depends, really. Sometimes I won't wrap them. Sometimes I will wrap them. Sometimes it all depends what mood I'm in, really. If I want to faff around, in fact, I've got a video coming out tomorrow that I've sort of done exactly what you just said.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying
they taste good
and don't. But just if someone's getting into the barbecuing thing, figure out what you like. Figure out if you like sweet sauces or more sour sauces. Like my wife and I, we prefer more mustard-based sauces.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tried Alabama white sauce. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Oh, there's Charlie being here. He loves that stuff.
So I tried it once on chicken. Did not like it.
Really?
But I'm not a fan of mayonnaise, so I wasn't sure. Maybe I don't know. Maybe if I go to Alabama and have it in a restaurant, maybe I'll try it. So I'm not one of these people that tries something once and it's like, okay, I'll never have that again. My wife's a little bit like that, but I'm working on that with her. But yeah, it's just it just wasn't something I like, and I don't like really sweet barbecue sauces. So I kind of find the ones that I like. I like more tomato-based sauces.
Okay.
Kind of stick with the ones I like. And then for rubs and stuff, I really like Lane's barbecue brand rubs and Meat Church.
I like Meat Church.
Yeah, I really like Meat Church. I like the Meat Church honey hog for pork, like on the pulled pork stuff. It's excellent. It gives you such a nice color, but really nice mahogany color.
Yeah.
And then for brisket, I really like. Excuse me. Lane's has Lane's barbecue. They're in. I believe they're somewhere in the southern states, maybe in Florida. They have these brisket rubs where you have like a good combination of like kosher salt, cracked black pepper, and then like granulated garlic, and that stuff is really good on
SPG
on brisket. Yeah. And then if it's like, and then if I'm doing regular stuff like steaks and stuff, being in Canada, the most common steak spice is Montreal steak spice, and
what is a Montreal spice? What is that? I've not heard of that.
So I think the idea is that it's trying to kind of simulate some of the spices that are used on Montreal smoked meat, which is Montreal smoked meat is just a version of pastrami. So Montreal smoked meat, it's cured, and then with pastrami, I believe it's after it's cured, it's steamed. Whereas with Montreal smoked meat, that they take the meat out of the cure and then they smoke it and then they steam it. So it has a different flavor profile. But with the Montreal steak spice, I'd say, it's like salt and black pepper, granulated garlic, granulated onion is in it as well. So it's really good on steak. So we have that a lot. Yeah. But yeah, it's always fun trying something new for the very first time, and then seeing how it turned out. Like this past January, I was trying to make like a Chex Mix party mix, and doing that so it be like cereal and pretzels and nuts and a bunch of different things, and then smoking that, and then sell it at work to raise money for charity. So because I had been making beef jerky a lot, and then it's like, well, I kind of want to have other things for people, because there's always those people who don't eat beef. So it's like, okay, well, I want to try different things. And so I had like 4 cookie trays of party mix, and I managed to burn all of them except one because my smoker was too hot. And it's just because I put a bunch of stuff like I had it on the cookie sheet, and I was gonna put it in my Traeger to smoke it. And what it was is just because normally when I smoke stuff like that, I have these things called they call them monkey mats, I think they're called. It's like it looks like the screen of a screen door, but it's made out of silicone, so you can just lay whatever you're smoking right on it, and it won't fall through the grill. But it's like, no, I don't have time for that. Let me just put it on these cookie sheets. And yeah, I managed to burn pretty much all of them. so I'm still kind of learning. So I know next time I do that, it's like, well, maybe I won't load up the cookie sheet so high, and I won't have the smoker so hot. And instead of putting it on the bottom of the smoker, I'll put it on the shelf above so that it just kind of smokes and stuff and not burns. So yeah.
You could I'll tell you what is quite good is cold smoked cashew nuts. Have you tried doing any, like if you do smoked salmon, like cold smoking nuts and
I actually did that. So Yeah. So one of the things that I really like doing, because it's just my wife and I and stuff, and I'm not, because I have my day job, so I'm not one of these people that's interested in like someday opening up a food truck and stuff. I'm 46 now. I'm just looking towards retiring, hopefully in 10 years when if I'm fortunate enough to retire between like 56 and 60, retire and go and travel the world, maybe go on vacation in Britain and that kind of thing.
Yeah, come over.
So I'm not really interested in opening up a food truck. So I don't want to be making large meals and then serve them at lunch at work and stuff. I'd rather just make stuff that I can just package and then just set out on a table, and then people can come and buy it if they want stuff. So I was doing jerky for the longest time, and we're fortunate enough. A lot of the stores you go to, you can just get like a jerky kit. So it's just like a package that has the jerky seasoning already mixed for you, and then it has like the cure. So by putting the cure in the jerky, when you marinate and stuff, it'll just make it a little bit more shelf stable. So you could have it left out at room temperature for like a few days and it will be fine. So I was making a bunch of different flavors for jerky, and it's like, well, I want to try different things. So I started making smoked nuts. I've done that. Did the smoked party mix. I was going to try making, I got this recipe for vegan bacon. And what it is you use large, like flaked coconut, and it's large flakes. Yeah, I know. But there's people who like that kind of stuff. What can I say? So I was thinking, well, I'll try making that. And so you marinate it in this and kind of give it, and the recipe calls for liquid smoke, but I don't touch liquid smoke. I think that's probably the worst thing in the world. So I was thinking, well, I'll try that.
I found some the other day. So
yeah,
it's like you can't find it in the UK. I've got like a little garage down the road from me where I fill my car up with fuel, and he's got a dedicated American section. Hence the whole, the Mike and Ike's, the random like American sweets and like crisps and all of that that he sells. He had bottles of liquid smoke on the shelf, and I've got a few recipe books that call for liquid smoke, and I was like, I'm getting it because I'm making barbecue sauce with it.
Yeah.
But no, I've never tried it, so we've got it. It might taste disgusting. It might not. I don't know.
Yeah. So so to get back to your question, I have tried cold smoked nuts, and then I tried smoking cheese.
I'll do that.
Okay, because we're fortunate, like Canada, we have access to some really good cheddar cheese and marble cheese and things like that. So I tried smoking it, but when I tasted it, I just didn't like it as much as I thought it would.
The thing is, you've got to go for the really mild cheddars.
Yeah.
Because if you go for a strong cheddar, it sort of overrides the smoke, and you've also got to let the smoke equalize in the cheese as well. So you smoke it, and then you put it aside for a couple of weeks, and then you go and try it.
Yeah, that's the thing I realized. Like, I tried some I smoked some cheese, and then I tried it after a couple of weeks, and I realized, now looking back, I realized that I didn't give it enough time. But then I'd given some to my father-in-law, and then I tried it after like 3 or 4 months, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
So it's something. It's definitely something I want to try, and it is something that's very convenient to do in the wintertime, because then you don't have to worry about your smoker melting the cheese because everything else is cold.
Well, it's when it sweats, that's when it doesn't get too good. If it gets too warm, the cheese actually starts to sweat when it's being smoked, and that's not good at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
You want it below 10 degrees, ideally.
Then
you're good.
When I did the smoked cheese, I actually have like a little tube that you can get called a smoker tube, and you just fill it with pellets, and then just lit that. So I didn't have the smoker on at all, and just lit this pellets in this little tube. This tube that's metal and it's all perforated, and it's like a little smoker box, and then smoke the cheese that way. And it's definitely something. It's like anything, right? Like, I know if I keep at it, I'll get better at it. So I just haven't had a chance to try it again. but it's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
And I've started making my own. I started carrying my own bacon as well. So I'll buy a good slab of pork belly, and I'll cure. I have this recipe for maple cure bacon, and if people want the recipe, they can contact me on Instagram. I'm more than happy to share it.
Send that down. I'll make my own bacon as well. So if you can send me that recipe, I'll be glad of it.
And I just get so I do use the pink curing salt, and so I just buy that off of Amazon, and it has black pepper and brown sugar and really good Canadian maple syrup, and then I'll cure that for about a week in the fridge, and then rinse it off, let it dry in the fridge for 12 hours or 24 hours, and then smoke it on my smoker at 180 degrees Fahrenheit until I get an internal temperature of 150. So usually after about 2 or 3 hours, it's done smoking, and it'll pick up that. And then I smoke it with the maple pellets, and then it'll get that really nice mahogany color. And then let it. You have to be patient, let it chill, and then slice it up on the meat slicer and package it up. And I sold that at work as well for charity, and it was quite popular. So
homemade bacon.
When all this COVID stuff is over and we're back in the office, I can go back to doing a lot of that fundraising for charity, because that's one of the ways I really like using my barbecue skills is doing that kind of thing.
No, rightly so as well. It's very admirable of you. It's really cool.
Yeah, what sort of charities do you do your donations for? What charities are you doing it for?
It's for CHEO, which is the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. So it's a local children's hospital. So it's next to the large general hospital here in Ottawa, and it's a children's hospital where it's dedicated for treatment and research for children's diseases. And one of the largest sections that they have there is an oncology ward. So it's to donate money for children that are dealing with cancer. And there's a woman at work whose son, fortunately, he's in remission now, but he spent the last 3 years battling with leukemia, and she was raising money, and they do this charity bike ride in Ottawa in May to raise money for it, and she was part of a team, and unfortunately they couldn't do it this year, and she had set a fundraising goal of $15,000, and she was fortunate enough, like I was able to help kind of raise a bit of that total for her and stuff, but I wasn't able to do as much as I'd like, because we got sent home in mid-March because of COVID.
Good on you.
But she was fortunate enough to reach her fundraising goal. So it's for a children's hospital here in Ontario, and I kind of I do it. I kind of do it because it makes me feel good, and it makes me. It's one of those things where because it's just my wife and I, we don't have kids, we just have the dog and stuff. If we get too involved in our own selves and stuff, we'll turn into those couple that everyone hates. So it's like, I don't want to be too focused on what my wife and I are doing or what my wife and stuff. Like, if there's a way that I can help other people, then I'll do that. And it's one of those things where I was thinking, well, when I retire and I'm not working anymore, what am I going to do and stuff? And it's like, well, I can volunteer, but then, I also like taking naps in the middle of the day, so that's kind of hard. So it's like, well, what can I do? So I was thinking, well, if I start this now, and it's great because, I do it at work. So work is paying for the lights and the electricity, and I set up using their furniture and their location. I use their email system. I use their printer to print off my posters. All this stuff is great. And no one says anything because they know I'm raising it for charity. I don't make any money off of it, so there's no conflict of interest. It's not like I'm running a business and stuff. I do that, and I've already said to my wife that when I retire, I want to keep doing that. And no matter where we're living, if we're still living here in Ottawa, if we decide to move, to Eastern Canada. It's still something I want to do, and I'm hoping that when this COVID thing clears up and people are willing to interact with themselves more, I'd like to cook up some meals and stuff, and send some meals for the employees at my local grocery store, because the grocery stores have stayed open during this whole lockdown here in Canada, and they had to reduce hours and stuff so that way they have time to clean the stores at night. But otherwise, they have stayed open, and they even have it where they have special hours in the morning between 7 and 8, so people over the age of 60 can go and shop, and they don't have to worry about dealing with young people who are too stupid for their own good walking around without a mask. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to also send some meals to the local hospital for the nurses and stuff as my way of thanking, because you can say thanks to people and they appreciate it. You can send them flowers and stuff, but nothing says thank you like a big pan of pulled pork or brisket or something, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If you give something to someone and that you made it themselves, and that's what I like about barbecue as a hobby, because it's one of those things where when you make stuff, it doesn't accumulate. Like my wife is into scrapbooking and stuff, so when she makes a scrapbook, then there's some it accumulates, like more things and stuff. Whereas like with my hobby, yes, I have charcoal and pellets around, but eventually those will go away because they get burnt up, and then I make things that I sell, and that goes away. And one of my favorite things is when I order there's a local company that I can order meat from, so I'll get my briskets and my pork belly from them and stuff, and they'll come and deliver it to the house, and so it gets packaged in a box, and they put like ice packs and stuff in it. That's like Christmas morning when that comes, because you go on the website and go, I want this, this, and this, and then the next thing, and then it comes like the next day. You order it, and it comes the next day after like 2:00, and they put it out on your front step, and it's on a nondescript box, whatever, and oh yeah, I've introduced that company to a lot of the other accounts that I know here in Ottawa. It's like, yeah, if you're looking for a good cut of brisket or good pork belly and stuff, go to these people because their prices are better than anyone else. So I like doing the cooking. If I'm gonna cook something, I'd rather cook like a big bit of brisket than like 2 little pork chops or something. I just find that more interesting. And then, so for my wife and I, when I do a brisket, I'll cook a whole brisket and stuff, and then it all gets packaged up into little containers and then frozen away for like for another day. So I may not be cooking barbecue every day, but I'm trying to eat barbecue at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Well, that's fantastic, Plus, as well, who doesn't like sitting around the barbecue and having a few beers and just watching the day go by, especially when it's sunny,
My favorite thing that my wife makes with the pulled pork is she'll take the leftover pulled pork and she'll make nachos. She'll make those in the oven. So she'll lay out a layer of nachos, and then she'll put the shredded pulled pork, and then she puts those pickled banana pepper slices, and then cheese. And I think that's probably that's my favorite way of eating pulled pork. I don't actually like eating pulled pork sandwiches. If I eat one pulled pork sandwich a year, I'm good. I'm really good at making pulled pork, but I don't like eating pulled pork sandwiches. So I like to find different ways. I've seen it where people will do it in nachos, they'll do it in tacos. I want to try it in egg rolls, pulled pork egg rolls. Just kind of finding new ways of enjoying classic barbecue items. So it's not just the same old having bits of meat on a plate or having it in a bun and trying different things. So
yeah, just trying to keep up with. Yeah,
I saw there were just some questions.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep up with the chat at the moment. It's all going a bit.
It's going mad in there.
I hope
it's going a bit crazy in there at the minute.
I hope I'm entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining.
When you first invited me and stuff, it was like, well, this is my first time doing a podcast, so it's like and I'm not that, and this is probably my second time doing video conferencing because it's not something I'm used to doing in my day-to-day life and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Really?
yeah,
I don't stop doing it.
Well, sometimes I'll
That
do like a
surprises
video
me.
chat on the phone and stuff, but otherwise it's not. I'd rather just text and stuff. It's, you know.
Okay.
So-
My day-to-day is like conferencing, audio conference, video conference, constant. It doesn't stop.
Oh wow.
I've always got this headset on. It's like I've my ears are slowly getting pushed further into my head where they're pressing in there.
Yeah, they try with my day job. They try to set up video conferencing, but our existing network isn't set up to handle that load and stuff. So everyone just kind of
you want to pay someone good to do it for you.
Yeah, we kind of just stuff. So that's been a challenge when you go to these meetings and you have like, you could have up to like 10 or 15 people on a teleconference call, and then people start talking and you don't know who it is because you don't recognize the voice and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because then you can hear when people hang up. So like people will call into a meeting, and then once they're done talking about their bit, when they've given their status update, whatever, they just hang up because they're not interested in hearing what anyone else says, which they couldn't do if they went to an actual meeting in a boardroom.
No, absolutely not.
It's like when you're on the phone, you think, oh, so I don't know how that would work if we were on video conferencing and stuff.
Yeah, it wouldn't, would it? That's exactly why we do video conferencing, so you're accountable.
I know a lot of people use Zoom and stuff for their video conferencing and stuff, and a lot of school children use that for their schooling and stuff, but it's not something that I'm really. It's fine, but it's not something that I necessarily do all the time. So I was worried how it'd come off on video, and I was also worried I wouldn't have to talk about. So
You're doing great, mate.
I think it's going well.
Really good. I've got someone at the door. I just got to go and answer the door. All right, I'll be back in a minute. So,
when you're cooking, what has been your biggest blooper apart from burning your peanuts?
Well, yeah, when I burned the party mix, like it was the cereal and stuff. It was the cereal mix that I burned because we had put this coating on. It was like Chex party mix. So you put this coating of like melted butter and Worcestershire sauce and spices and stuff. Yeah. And I burnt that pretty good.
So you reckon that's your biggest blooper, is it?
I'd say that was my biggest blooper.
Well, that's pretty good then.
I've messed up ribs before. I burnt ribs on my big green egg once. I had my big green egg too high, and the ribs got burnt on one side, and it's like, yeah, you just kind of you gotta chalk it up to experience and go, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned before, like when I first started cooking on charcoal, putting the food on when the smoke wasn't ready yet, when you still have the white smoke
still bellowing out acrid, horrible.
Yeah, like if your charcoal, if your charcoal,
we've all done that.
Yeah, if your charcoal, like the way someone explained it to me is that if your charcoal looks like they're voting in a new pope, the smoke is too the smoke is too white. Wait until it's a little bit thin, and then you're good to go.
No, absolutely right. What's the most interesting thing you've cooked? Any exotic foods, crocodile, alligator, ostrich, or something? Nothing
like that. I'd say, when I was in Kingston, so I spent a bit of time at the end of last year in Kingston to care for my my elderly parents. I was able to take a bit of time off work and stuff, so I was able to cook beef cheeks. So cheeks off the cow. So they come. You get them at it's in the southern states in the Mexican culture they refer to it as barbacoa. So the idea is that you smoke these beef cheeks, and then you put them in a sauce. And I actually cooked them in beer. So that's probably like the last thing I cooked. The last bit of meat that I cooked in beer. So I put them in an aluminum pan. So I smoked them on my little Traeger Ranger. Smoked them for a bit. Well, I had to figure out. I had to watch a YouTube video, figure out how to trim them and stuff because they have like a silver skin.
Yeah, a lot of sinew on them. Yeah.
So I trimmed them up and then I seasoned them and then I smoked them on the Traeger for a couple hours, and then I put them in a braise of like onions and beer and a little bit more of the seasoning.
Yeah,
covered it up and then I smoked it and they came out good. But then I realized like I should have smoked them more because they weren't quite as tender.
Right.
But I'd say the most interesting thing, which I can't recommend enough, is oxtail. I did smoked and braised oxtail at Christmas time, and then I served it to my family, and it was kind of nerve-wracking because I was serving it. I made it for a family dinner. We had about it was at my mom and dad's house, and we had about maybe 12 or 14 people coming over. It was like my cousin and her kids and stuff like that coming over, and I said, here I made oxtail, and I served it to them, and I had never made it before, so I didn't even know what it was supposed to taste like. But I figured, well, I looked at the recipe, I saw a couple of videos, and I figured, okay, well, it's gonna braise, it's gonna get tender and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was outstanding. So I highly recommend to people. I don't know if it's necessarily a cheaper cut of meat in England, but it's
a reasonably cheap cut of meat in England. Both oxtail and the cheeks are quite cheap.
Yeah, cheap, definitely.
In fact, I've got some cheeks to cook this weekend, so they're going in. I'm going to do tacos with those this weekend.
Yeah, so you must smoke them and braise them, and then you shred them and stuff.
Yeah, so you got it.
Yeah.
Yep. Got a couple of nice cheeks. So get them. They're out defrosting at the minute. I got a whole chicken to chuck on the rotisserie as well.
Yeah,
I might do a roti on Sunday or something.
I got it out 2 days ago, and it hasn't fucking raining since. So it's got to go on tomorrow, regardless if it's raining or not. It's got to go on the rotisserie.
Oh, it's on.
It's coming off if it's raining or not.
I wanted to ask you, gentlemen, when is Father's Day in England?
It's this Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh, it's the same as here. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Well, of course it would be.
Well, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, of course. Well, we're all colonians, so.
Okay. So I know, like you'll probably see on YouTube or especially on Instagram and stuff, you'll see a lot of tomahawk steaks being grilled for Sunday and stuff. That's sort of like the scene to being the really popular thing now. Like it's like they came out of nowhere. Like a year ago, people started like, oh, these tomahawk steaks. No, all it is a rib steak with a long bone on it.
Yeah, that's it. You're just paying over the odds for a bloody great bone.
And I've seen they started doing it with pork too. Some butchers are doing it with pork now. Well, where they'll take pork chops and make them tomahawk as well too. And I guess that way they can charge twice the price.
Yeah, exactly. You're just weighing in the bone, and
I've never had one. I'm not interested in it. Like for one tomahawk steak here, and it's probably like 2 inches thick, probably like $80. It's quite expensive, and it would be enough for like maybe 2-3 people.
Yeah.
It's a reasonably popular brand of restaurant in the UK that do tomahawk steaks. That was the first time I had one there, and it's nothing to write home about. Like I said, you're just paying for over the odds for a bone. It's not like you get a huge bit of steak, is it? You've got a bloody great handle to chew your steak on. It's not. You've not got anything else.
No. Are you guys familiar with picanha?
Do you know what I've heard of it. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest.
So you'll see that like in Brazilian restaurants where like they have like the cuts of meat. They'll have like cuts of beef like on a sword, and then they slice them up. So what it is, it's I believe it's like a top sirloin roast. It's from the sirloin. I'd have to look it up. I didn't do my research on beef anatomy. But it's near the top sirloin of the cow and stuff. And it's more triangular shape, and it's very popular in Brazil and in South America. and I really like it. So you can every once in a while you can get picanha, or you can get like a form of top sirloin steak, and so it's a nice big bit of meat with a little bit of fat on and stuff, and you put that on a nice big metal skewer, and you put that on your charcoal grill and stuff. It's definitely something that has to go on the charcoal grill. The pellet grill just I don't think will do it service and stuff, and or you put it on a rotisserie, and then one of the fun things to do is like you take it off and you do it like at a Brazilian restaurant where you slice off the outer sides of the beef. It's still kind of medium rare and stuff, and then season it with your slices with flake salts, but then you can put it back on the fire, so then you basically recrust the steak, and you just keep going until it all kind of whittles down. So there's a bit of a theatrics with it as well. So I really like that, and I like tri-tip as well.
Yeah, tri-tip is good.
But like tri-tip's one of those things where the more popular it gets, the more expensive it gets, because then everyone starts seeing about it, and a lot of the stuff comes from the States, where it's like, oh, Tomahawk Steaks they have in the States, and then now next thing you know, they're selling them here in Canada, and then
what about, have you tried Featherblade Steak?
I'm not sure what that is.
It's like a skirt steak. It's basically around the
okay. No,
that was traditionally you'd cook that low and slow, but if you cook it really, really hot, and because it's the meat has got a grain in it, you can obviously cut against the grain, so it's sort of like you can do it medium rare, and it's really, really soft. That's really, really good in tacos and stuff like that, and like wraps and things, and with chili sauce and that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to try that. Yeah, like a skirt steak or like a hanger style steak.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's funny, like certain cuts of meat are so popular that they're really expensive, and I'm trying to and I like to try to figure out ways to use the more cheaper cuts that maybe aren't as desirable, but they have to be like smoked and braised, and so that's what turned me on to stuff like beef cheeks, which of course now are getting really popular, and oxtail. Maybe I shouldn't mention oxtail, because then everyone will go out and buy it, and then it'll be expensive again. Speaking of beef prices, I don't know if this happened to you folks in England, but here in Canada, what happened is, because of COVID, we have like 4 major meat processing plants in Canada, because especially in the western side of Canada, where we have the prairies and stuff, there's large beef production, very, very large beef production. So say we have 4 or 5 and stuff. Well, they had to close all but one, because the meat packing employees got tested positive for COVID. So there was a while there. It's gotten better now that they've reopened stuff, but I'd say for the last 2 months, the cost of a brisket would be twice the price. And like some restaurants had to stop selling it because they just couldn't afford they couldn't afford the prices.
Blimey.
Yeah. Yeah, there was this shortage that we ended up with a shortage of certain cuts of meat. Now stuff like ground beef and stuff, that's so commonplace. It's everywhere, right? But a lot of that stuff. But like for freshly cut beef and stuff, there was a time there where there just wasn't enough being produced, and so the price skyrocketed. And a lot of you couldn't get a brisket. Unless you wanted to pay twice the price, brisket was out of the question. For I'd say for most of April and May, it was way too expensive. It's gotten better now that things have opened up again, but yeah.
Pickles has just said that it's hard to get in there where he is as well. Well, I think there's just a general meat shortage across the whole of the Americas, isn't there? America, Canada.
One thing that I saw, like we have certain brands here in Canada that are exclusive to Canada, or they're very large in Canada and then not as well known in the States, like Kraft. And we have another one called Maple Leaf, which is a producer of like they'll sell everything from like luncheon meat to like you can buy like Maple Leaf sausages and breakfast sausages and that kind of thing. So they sell everything from luncheon meat to like prepared to like roasts and stuff. And so they came out with this product now called 50/50, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. And basically what it is, it's 50% like protein, like 50% beef, and then 50% plants. No. So they have like sausages, like they'll have sausages where it's like 50% beef, and then I don't know if it's like the unbelievable burger that they're talking about or not, but it's like 50% beef and 50% plant-based protein. And I'm not a big fan of this plant-based protein. Like I've never tried one of those unbelievable burgers. I don't want to, because I don't think I think they're probably worse for you than like a real piece of meat.
Well, I think you're probably right, to be honest. To get it to maybe to get something to that stage where you think it can be a burger or it can be a piece of meat, you got to process that a lot. So it might not necessarily, as you say, be so good for you. Probably full of all sorts of.
Who knows how it's made? Who knows how
Jimmy Q's hit the nail on the head right there. Plant-based meats are an abomination on this earth.
So
100% agree with you, mate.
I agree with Jimmy. Q.
Absolutely.
50/50.
We're all meatheads in here. There is no way that this plant-based shit is going to fly in here.
Now I do find that as I get older and stuff, I don't need as much red meat. But I'd say probably like if I were to go to the grocery store today and I wanted to get something to grill, a nice like pork chop with the bone in and stuff, like a French style pork chop. That's the thing for me. I just love that. Yeah. And we get really good pork here in Canada.
Would you get like a double bone pork chop, or just sort of like the?
Yeah, if I went to the butcher counter, like a lot of the grocery stores that we have a butcher counter and stuff, and you can get like the double bone pork chop and stuff. I haven't tried like I know there's some recipes where you can take the double bone pork chop and you can then stuff it with sausage or whatever and then cook that off. I just kind of try to, if I'm gonna grill something, I'm gonna kind of keep it simple and stuff, and just let the meat speak for itself, and try not I'm not one of these people that likes to cover up the taste of the meat with other things, and just go from there. But I do want to try, like I know going forward I want to try some new things like grilled artichoke. I've never done that on the grill, but I hear that it's really good. And try cooking some more fish. I want to get my wife used to trying some more fish, because I love salmon, but she does not like it, so I can never smoke it. I can only make it for my father-in-law. But I want to try making some more seafood based things like grilled octopus, grilled sardines, grilled mackerel, those kind of things.
How about crab? You must get like real big crabs up in Canada, I should imagine.
Yeah.
Like crab
especially
legs.
when we go in the Maritimes and stuff. We get some really like fresh crab and stuff. But we like to eat it like when you buy crab, it's already cooked when you buy it, and it's already cracked in half and stuff, and then it's just packed in ice. And we like eating it cold. I find it, you get the best taste of the crab when you eat it cold like that.
Really?
Same as lobster. I'm not one of these people that dips my lobster in hot melted butter and stuff. I like my favorite way to eat lobster is have it boiled in seawater. So you get your fresh, like we go down to the local lobster pound where the fishermen are storing the lobsters before they sell them, and so they have them in tanks with water that's being circulated from the ocean. And excuse me, go there and go there and then get a pail of seawater, and then boil up the lobster, and then chill it in that seawater, and then stick it in a cooler with ice, whatever, and then have it the next day. And you get the best taste of the lobster that way. And same as crab, eating it cold and stuff. I'm sure I could like grill up some crab and stuff, but I just don't know if my wife would like it, because she's so used to eating it that way, and I've kind of converted to eating it the way she likes it. So
it sounds nice, actually. It must be really flavoursome, because obviously it'd be like once it's cooked, you almost be brining it at the same time, won't you?
Yeah, it really intensifies the flavor and stuff when you chill it like that, and then you have it the next day. So yeah, it's one of the few things that I don't grill because it's just that's the way. Well, that's the way my in-laws want to have it. So to keep them happy, that's the way we do it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that sounds cool. So last but not least, then this isn't necessarily a barbecue question, but what are your top 3 sort of musical albums you have?
Top 3.
What influence?
I'd say my favorite band is the Tragically Hip, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with them.
I've not heard of them. What sort of music is that then?
Well, they're not touring anymore because unfortunately their lead singer passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more rock and folk, folk music and stuff. But their songs. Their lyrics, like they're a Canadian band, so their songs and lyrics are referring to like things that as a Canadian you can identify and stuff. So I like them. And excuse me. So I'd say they're my favorite band. And then I've been listening to a lot of country now that I've been at home. Just have some music because I find if I listen to like hip hop and stuff, it's too distracting and I can't work. So I just listen to a lot of country.
Angry emails.
Yeah, so I just listen to a lot of country. So I like Carrie Underwood. I'd say my favorite country band is probably Lee Antebellum, but I like Blake Shelton, and I like Carrie Underwood and a few other country acts and stuff. And then my third act, I like all types of music and stuff. I don't actually own any albums. It's just like CDs and stuff. And I'd say mostly it's the Tragically Hip, and then a few other bands and stuff.
All right, cool. That's nice. It's always interesting to get another angle on sort of what. No, I think music's a great talking point. You know, you can open up a lot of things from that.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if I mentioned, but like I use Instagram as my main platform to build my brand and stuff. So what happens more times than not is like Instagram will release a feature in the States months before it releases in Canada. And it's because before they can release it in Canada, they have to make sure that feature works both English and French. Otherwise, cause them a bunch of trouble. So one of the happiest days was when I finally got that Instagram update and I could start adding music to my posts because I think that's funny. Like, add a post to your story and then you can have music playing in the background. Because I see other people post and it's like, how did they do that? And then you read it's like, oh, well, it's on Instagram, but it's not available for you yet, and you don't know when it's going to happen, right? So, it's always fun, like when you see people post stuff on their stories and they'll have like a catchy tune or something on it. So, I'd say I like all types of music, but if I'm relaxing and stuff, it's definitely the Tragically Hip, and then. I've gotten into more country music now and stuff, and I just listen to like maybe like the top country hits on Spotify or whatever. I'm a big fan of Spotify, so
yeah, same.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm not really into rap or hip hop as much anymore. Maybe I'm getting too old. I don't know. It just doesn't interest me as much.
I've got to be honest. I love the music of the 90s. Like the kid, when I put stuff in the car, the kids just say, "Oh, it's old-fashioned music." And to be fair, they're right. It is now.
No, it's gonna be like that.
When you think back to the stuff you used to listen to in the 90s, you're like, "Wow."
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I think it is time to open the Barbecue Pub Club. So, if you're not, obviously, Lou, I should explain what the Barbecue Pub Club is, Lou. it signals the end of the formalities of an interview.
Oh, okay.
So what we do now is we invite the people that are in our chat to join the live stream, and they can ask you questions and, you know, just have a drink and just a general chat.
Well, I can say that the link is now in the chat, and whoever wants to come in, you're more than welcome. So when you come, whoever wants to, come along. Cheers, everyone. Great interview. Thank you.
I think I need to go and get some more alcohol because I've run out.
Stock up.
I haven't got a wench like Ryan that just brings it. Yes, that brings you booze. Mine is currently sitting in the front room and ignoring me again.
So while you guys go get your drinks, I can kind of just keep talking and keep people entertained. One thing I wanted to kind of talk about was the thing that I found over the last few years with barbecue, the account, is how kind of barbecue is a universal language. So I follow a lot of accounts in Germany, German-speaking countries like Germany, Austria, Switzerland. And it's interesting to see what kind of smokers they use and what kind of cuts of meat that they're cooking and how they're preparing their meals and how they cook and stuff. And it's always interesting because they're not cooking large cuts of meat like we do here in North America. Like, you'll see it on Instagram, especially for Father's Day, and for the American and the Canadian sites, where like people will be posting pictures of like 3 or 4 racks of pork ribs and big tomahawk steaks and stuff, and they're cooking all this meat for like 4 people. Whereas the Germans, they seem a little bit more reserved and stuff. So I've been fortunate enough to get a lot more German accounts, and one of the things that I started doing was I started as to have like another hobby and stuff, so that way I have things to do and then just sit in front of the TV. Because there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of things that you can get distracted watching on TV because there's so many streaming services now, right?
Yeah. So
I started learning German at home, so I can follow a lot of these accounts and stuff. And fortunately, a lot of them speak English as well. But if not, Google Translate seems to work pretty good. And I've been able to send a lot of my stickers there, and it's just been really interesting to kind of see how they do things. And then, of course, I have a lot of followers in Australia, New Zealand and stuff, and seeing how they do things, I find that the way that they approach barbecue, and it's not everyone, it's just kind of my impression of things, is they approach it more like the American style. So they're cooking on American style smokers, they're cooking American style, they're cooking large cuts of meat and that kind of thing. And it's just interesting to see how it's all barbecue. It's all good, but it's just different in different areas and stuff. And then there's a few accounts that I follow in South America and stuff. And the way that they cook things, where like they use like a Santa Maria style grill, where it's a grill that's suspended by chains over fire, and then they just raise and lower the grill as to control the temperature and stuff. But it's all wood fire cooking. They don't use charcoal. They start with a wood fire and then go from there. And some of the German accounts that I follow, when they'll post on there saying, well, I'm smoking some fish, it's really interesting because they'll do it almost like I don't know if you've seen it, where in Argentina where they'll smoke like a big chunk of beef, like a whole side of beef, like beef ribs and stuff, and they'll have it like on a spit that's angled over the fire. Well, Germans will do this. Germans will do the same thing, but that's how they smoke their salmon. So they'll take like a side of salmon, and then they basically use metal bands and hold it onto the board, and then they hit it at an angle over the fire, and that's how they smoke salmon. And it's just interesting to see different cooking techniques and how they do things.
Yeah, 100%. That's what barbecue's all about. If you can pick something up of someone else and use it, run with it. That's all I say. It's a really, really cool community we've got going on, and it's a global community now. It's not, you're not limited to your own country anymore. You can sort of like go wherever you want.
Language, that's for sure. And I just consider myself lucky that, I grew up speaking Portuguese at home. So Portuguese is very similar to Spanish. And then living in Canada, I grew up learning French in school. So I understand French and English. I was educated primarily in English, and then you have to take French for so many years. So I understand. I speak English. I understand French and Portuguese, and then because of Portuguese, I understand Spanish, and now I'm learning German. So I'm setting myself up so then someday when I retire, I can travel to all these places and stuff. Yeah. Whenever my wife really likes going to places like Cuba. As a Canadian, the best thing about going to Cuba is you go there and there's no Americans. It's lovely. It's all Canadians that go there like in February, March for vacation. So you go there and everyone else is Canadian who isn't Cuban. Because Americans, because of the embargo, it's a lot harder for them to travel there. So we go there and it's always a lot more work for me because I have to translate things for my wife. Like she'll be asking, somebody for something, and then I'm trying to say it in my poorly broken Spanish and stuff. So because of knowing how to speak different languages and stuff, it helps kind of build the barbecue community and stuff. And I'm trying to get more accounts in French Canada as well, and try to get more followers that way. So I think in the future I might start posting things in different languages just to kind of.
That'd be really cool. Quite interesting.
Yeah. The barbecue scene is pretty big in Quebec as well. In the province of Quebec, they have their own barbecue store called Barbecue Quebec, and they have a few locations and stuff. And it's like one of the stores I was mentioning before, where it's dedicated just for barbecue and stuff. And I'd say that their barbecue culture is very similar to the rest of Canada. It's all about cooking really good meals, having fun with your friends and family, and just enjoying yourself. And it's more, I'd say most of the accounts that I follow, it's more where they're cooking on charcoal or pellet grills, and not so much gas grill. Because when you cook on a gas grill, it's more about speed and efficiency. Whereas when you're cooking on a charcoal grill, you're doing low and slow, you're smoking, that kind of thing. It's more about relaxing and taking in time to kind of enjoy yourself and just enjoy the whole process and stuff, and not just about cooking, eat, and then go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Right, I'm out of beer. I'll be back in a sec. Matt, over to you, son.
Is there anybody in the in the green room?
No.
Oh, is Charlie falling asleep or lap? What's going on? Come on, lads.
From what I've been reading,
you're always so keen.
It wasn't as entertaining as people hoped.
No, I think they're probably drunk.
Most likely.
Oh, it's 11:30. That's right. It's like 11:30 your time. It's only 6:30 my time. So people are just starting to get here.
The two usual culprits that come on, it's near the same time as you.
I can tell you as a Canadian, one of the hardest things to deal with the COVID is not having hockey to watch. Hockey is like the number one sport for us. And of course, this time of year and stuff, like the hockey playoffs will be wrapping up and stuff. But just going for the last 3 months and stuff and not having hockey to watch is been really tough. And I'm sure it's the same for you folks with your sports like Premier League football and other things, like not having you realize how important sports are when you don't have them anymore.
No, my sport's barbecue.
Oh, there you go.
You're sitting there and like people say, like watching paint dry, isn't it? I sit there and watch beads of fat roll off of my off of different meats.
Well, one of the
more entertaining
I have is it's called the Carson Rodizio, and it fits on top of my charcoal grill, and it's sort of like a little Brazilian style charcoal rotisserie. So you have the different skewers, and you can fit 6 skewers on these things. So you put your different cuts of meat. So I do like picanha or chicken wings or whatever, and then I'll put that on the Rodizio, and you just sit there and watch it spin and watch the fat drip off of stuff, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's it.
Oh, we have a Dutchie just popped in the green room. Here we go.
Ah, excellent.
Evening.
Hello, sir.
How you going?
Barbecue may not be. What? Come on, what's the T-shirt say?
This is
May not be the road to world peace, but it's a start. Excellent.
Bourdain, isn't it? That's from
Anthony Bourdain, yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I thought I'd put this one on tonight.
Well, there you go.
Rocking it. Ryan, I think I'm going to hit up Dutchie for some what's it called, branded clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely barbecue talks clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, Lou, for a cracking interview, mate.
Yeah,
Thank
really, really good. Really good.
Oh, thank you.
Really good, yeah. Really good evening.
Yeah.
No, just stuff coming on. Right, yeah. So the bar's open. So what have you been up to, Steve? I've seen you around. You've been flying. You're climbing up the YouTube ranks at a fair pace.
Yeah, this week's been quite a good week actually. It's been taken off. I've had a fairly good video out on the jambalaya this week, and it's drawn quite a lot of people in. And which other one have I put up? Well, I forget, because some of them are filmed like 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Preview, yeah. But yeah, so oh no, I did a roast chicken in the Dutch oven.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just simple roast chicken, and the amount of people that have clicked on it just to watch it, nothing fancy, just a 1 hour cook on a roast chicken is unbelievable.
I tell you what, you've inspired me. I've got a Dutch oven. I never use it. I've just got it sitting. I think I've used it maybe once or twice for pit beans, but it'd fit a chicken in it easily. I've never thought about using it like that. I've always just thought about using it as just like something to make beans up in, or do you know what I mean? Just for sides, really. But to actually see a chicken cooking it, it's impressive.
Yeah, it's probably, Ryan, that obviously member of a forum and stuff like that, and done lots of barbecue low and slow and everything like that. But when I set the YouTube channel up, I started something different, cast iron, skillet cooking and things like that, because it was another route that I wanted to explore. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I've seen all the stuff you knocked together. That some of them, especially what was that cooker thing you brought at the tailgate that was like the tube thing?
Yeah, the Vicari Bray oven for cooking.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, which was made up out of a gas cylinder. Yeah,
all sorts of bulk and stuff. It'd be nice to get back together again soon. Once.
Yeah, like I said, there's one scheduled for the end of July.
Mm.
Or, if it'll go ahead or not, it's debatable at the moment.
No, I'll be honest, I don't think anything's going to happen this year. Maybe next year. Well, for sure next year.
Yeah. Are you?
Sorry?
You'll be able to come because you're not going to Turkey anymore.
I'm definitely not going to Turkey. No, I don't even want to talk about that.
It's a sour subject at the minute, isn't it?
It's not sour, but I think it might end up sour.
It'll probably be September, the next tailgate.
Well, I'll be able to come along. I'm going to have plenty of holiday left. So.
Yeah.
And I must admit, yes, I've got one of Lou's stickers and fridge magnets as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you kindly sent me. I think I sent you one of my stickers, Bob, so you can't remember.
I get a lot of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Dutchie, you're gonna have to send me one of your new ones. I've got one of your old stickers.
I haven't actually sent them away to be
You've not had them printed out yet.
Yeah, because I only really
fair
did
enough.
that 2 weeks ago. It was like Lou's on about branding and things like that. It was the old one I thought was pretty boring. So it was
I don't know. It's all right. I mean, it sort of showed what you were about. It was, you know, a Dutch oven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It was quite easy to interpret what you were about. It's not just a nickname, you know.
Oh no. Yeah, so we did a bit of a rebrand and what have you 2 weeks ago. And like I said, the channel's taken off. It seems to be going at the moment, which and we all find it a struggle.
Yeah.
Promote the channels and things like that. And the videos you think they're going to do well.
Yeah, they go the other way, don't they?
Yeah. And the ones that you think, oh well, I'll just chuck that out until I get something else done.
Yeah.
They take off.
So I've done exactly the same. I put a chili video out, like a chili sauce video out a couple of weeks ago because I didn't have any content.
Yeah.
It was literally that was my reserve video basically. That was the lifeboat because the weather was shy. So I thought I'd bung that one out. It's done really well. I've been hanging on to it for months.
Yeah. Like I must admit that I've kind of scrapped about 6 or 7 videos that I've actually shot because I've kind of repositioned lighting and things like that. And then you look at the newer ones I've been doing, and you think, oh, the difference is unbelievable.
Day and night, as it were.
Scrap them, but I will go back and remake them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I've been remaking a lot of my older, similar videos. So I've done a beef chuck the other day, but the last beef chuck I done was on my really old camcorder, and you can really see the quality difference between the DSLR and the old camcorder. So I'm quite happy with that one. But that video's bombed, you know. Like the first one I've done really well. Like in this one, it's like nothing.
Yeah. Like
No rhyme or reason to it.
Get excited about putting a video out, and then it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. But that's just how the wonders of YouTube. Man, and again, that's the nice thing about Instagram. It's just like one shot, a couple of lines, get everything sorted out, and off into the wilderness.
Yeah, that's right. Just fire it off and away it goes.
Yeah.
I've got a challenge for you, Lou.
Okay.
I want a picture of all of your grills in your garden.
I'll work on that. I don't. I can send you a picture of all the ones that are in the garden right now, but I'll have to then post pictures of the ones that are in the other locations. But yeah, I can.
No, I mean the ones that are with you currently. I reckon,
I have right now.
I reckon if you put that on Instagram, I reckon you're going to get loads of likes for that.
I think what I should do is I should light them all up, and then that way it looks like I'm cooking for a party and stuff. So yeah, I'll do that.
And then really quickly run and go put them all out before you waste all your fuel. Can you hear us, Dutchy? No.
So do you guys find that when you post on Instagram, like the videos that are like 2 minutes or less tend to do better than the longer videos, just because people's attention spans?
See, I have this thing with videos. I was trying to break into the YouTube idea. I still haven't done it. I'm
the same.
And Instagram, I haven't done videos yet. I don't know whether it's just I find that, you know, like nerves get the better of me. I don't really get nervous about doing things, but I don't know. It must just be the pressure of going, right, okay, I'm cooking and everything else. I just don't know. I just seem to balls it up every time I try and go live or do a video.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. I get self-conscious trying to film myself when I'm posting something on Instagram, but I know that by filming yourself, that's how you can build your brand, because people like to see who it is that's cooking stuff, and they want to, and then just little things too, like, if you post a video of you cooking, then you pan down to show the dog doing its thing or just hanging out in the sun and stuff. People love that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to go on into the YouTube space and then start posting like how-to videos, because there's a lot, right? So
yeah,
it's
I
hard
don't
to distinguish yourself on YouTube as opposed to like other platforms.
That's absolutely right. And I was saying to Ryan the other day about the way that I was gonna, if I was gonna do YouTube videos, I try to keep mine down to sort of below 5-minute videos, just because there isn't much that I'd sit and talk about, because I'd probably make myself sound like a complete fucking imbecile. And I just quick smaller videos I think would just probably go, just people would watch a bit, watch and not skip, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Dutchy, your mic's broken. I can't hear you. I can see you talking, but I can't hear you.
I know a lot of accounts have started going to the Instagram TV.
Yeah.
So
I've got a couple of IGTV videos. They've done all right, actually.
Yeah. So what they'll do is it's interesting how that platform works, because you go on it and you can start seeing a little bit of it, and you don't realize it's a longer video until it says, until you get the button say keep watching on IGTV.
Yeah.
And is that better? So I think I might explore that space and stuff, because I was what I've seen is that there's accounts that are really popular on Instagram, but then they have the challenge to transition that over to YouTube. One account that I find is really big on YouTube is Pitmaster X, the gentleman in
the
Holland.
Dutch guy.
Yeah, he's pretty big. And then of course any of the channels that are branded that are based on like a company like Traeger or Big Green Egg or Weber, of course they have a big following. But even then, they tend to have their videos pretty short. Like if they're posting an instructional video of how to like fix something or how to pre-season your grill and stuff, they're keeping those under like 2 or 3 minutes, just because people's attention spans. I guess that's just the way people are. It's like
that's like me. I'm a stickler for skipping. I'm like this, that's boring as shit. Come on, next.
But now hopefully people will watch this podcast and sit for the 2+ hours and watch the whole thing. So it's funny, like there's some people that will watch, they'll only be able to watch like an instructional video or a cooking video for like 5 or 7 minutes, but then they could also sit there and watch or listen to a podcast, like something like Joe Rogan or whatever, for like 3+ hours, right? So I guess it all just depends on how it's packaged and what you're kind of showing and stuff.
Definitely.
My thing is when you watch videos and they get an onion and they peel an onion and chop an onion, you don't need to watch somebody for 5 minutes peeling and chopping an onion. It's one onion, chop.
You're trying to fast forward and stuff. Yeah.
It's like, why do I want to watch 5 minutes of someone chopping an onion? No, onion, chopped, done.
I'm glad I'm not the only person that thinks that way. Well, I did a video for barbecue pit beans, which is still not released, but it was like, people don't want to see you chopping the ingredients and peeling and doing all of that crap. Mine, it was literally onions, dump. Beans, dump. More beans, dump. Paprika, salt, pepper, all of that. Nice big glug of rum and coke in there. Chuck them in the pit. It was like a 30-second video at the max. That's why I didn't put it on YouTube. The 30 seconds is just not long enough.
If you look at analytics on your videos, you can see how long people watch before they start tailing off.
Yeah.
And normally it's about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 3 minutes. But YouTube, I always say that you've got to put a 10-minute video out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But when you watch the analytics of people, it's 3.5 minutes, and they start dropping off.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's just putting me off using YouTube as a platform anyway.
He said,
I've spent a small eternity building my in the background building the channel already. But yeah, if they're going to sit there and say no, your minimum length is 10 minutes.
Well, you can be as long as you want. Like I do 6-minute videos for drink videos.
People don't stick to that. People watch, and then it's like either fast forward to the end product.
That's it. It's exactly what you're going to get. They're not going to. They're not going to sit and I'm going to go and check the meat now, open the pit, and show them. I'll skip that bit. I just want to see what it looks like at the end.
I mean, to be honest, if I go on YouTube and I look for something, if there's a video for 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I won't even bother looking at it because I'm thinking, well, I've got better things to do. I'm not going to sit here for 25 minutes and watch a video.
I don't even look at the time. I go right, okay. Search for a recipe or search for how to trim something. Right, okay. And it'd be like, right, he's introducing him. Fuck off! I don't want to hear you introducing yourself or anything else. Right, there you go. He's got a knife in his hand now. Right, I'll watch that bit. And then be like, right, okay, now he's talking again. Skip. End product done. All in 15 seconds.
Yeah, there are some people that are able to post like Pitmaster X, his longer videos, or like these videos. Like I like watching videos on butchery to learn how to like cut certain things and stuff because I always find it's interesting. Because there's a lot of times where you can buy like a larger cut of meat at the store and then cut it yourself. So it's always good to kind of learn, and I find it interesting to learn how to cut my own steaks or whatever like that. So because I'm interested in stuff, I'll watch it. But the way they do it is that they'll have multiple camera angles. It'll be really well lit. And they're not talking at length about what kind of knife they're using and stuff. They're just getting right down to business, and then you see overhead, so you can see exactly what they're doing and stuff, and that kind of thing. So it's almost like with anything, if you want to learn how to grow your brand on YouTube, just kind of see what other people are doing and just kind of
try and mimic that.
What doesn't work and just kind of follow it. So I don't know, you might have to like I know there's some people that post YouTube videos for cooking and stuff, and they're quite entertaining. They're cracking jokes along the time, or they just have a different style and format and stuff to it. So but it's a challenge to try to post a video and get people to be interested in watching for the whole thing. Because just people they kind of trail off after a few minutes if it's not something they're interested in, or like you said, they just want to jump right to the end product.
I picked up on something you said earlier, Lou, that promoting your brand, that's why you started doing the stickers, because you weren't young and female. I'm not a cute 25-year-old female with. There was I did some research on a Dutch oven cook, and it got like 2.2 million views. So I went on it, and to tell you the truth, it wasn't the Dutch oven that was the most eye-catching. It was a young girl.
It wasn't.
That I'd barely got any clothes on or anything covered up. That was the main thing, and I put a comment in saying, "Well, I wish I got a pair of them."
Well, it is a recipe that that's a formula that works. That's a formula that's always worked on television, right? So
absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, Lou, recommend some YouTube channels that are for butchery, or ones that you've watched and you subscribe to, because that's something that I'm quite interested in.
So let me just look up my YouTube. There's this company. The company's called White Feather Meats. They're in They're in Ohio in the States, and it's two brothers, and they have beards, so they go by the Bearded Butchers on Instagram, and they post really interesting butchery videos.
Okay.
And they're a family business, so they show everything from they show everything from the dressing of the animal after it's slaughtered to hanging and stuff, and then like the whole side of beef, and they do like beef, lamb. They do beef, lamb, pork, and bison. Their father in the early 80s was like one of the first bison farmers in their area and stuff, and now they butcher bison, and for the beef they have both grain-fed and grass-fed beef, and you can really see the color in the meat based on what the animal ate.
Okay.
So I'd say the Bearded Butchers is one of my favorite, and then I'm just looking up to make sure I get the right name. There's a gentleman in I believe it's in England.
Scott Ray.
Scott Ray, yeah.
Scott Ray project. Yeah.
When I was learning how to do sausages, I watched his videos. I found his stuff really interesting and stuff. And of course, his videos are more like, where he's showing his hands and how to do stuff. But his hands are all tattooed up, so they're what is this? And then you watch.
I've seen
what
Scott
does the
Ray
guy with
before.
all these tattoos know how to make sausages? And you see what he's doing. It's like he really knows what he's doing. So
He's actually got a couple of books out now as well.
So I find that really interesting. Scott Ray and the Bearded Butchers, I'd say, are the two main.
Oh Christ! He's not got any fucking clothes on again.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Hi, Lap.
How you doing?
Oh,
good, Lou, if you're easily offended by half-naked men, I apologise.
It's okay.
There, I'll only give him a headshot.
That's better. That's why Ryan was laughing in the background.
And this is my first beer. I swear to God.
No, it's not. It's the first beer after the 14 beers you've had previously.
Honestly, that was my first beer. I know Mrs. G asked earlier how many beers I drank. I was like, none. Honestly.
I'm just mental. I'm always like that.
Yeah. That's me, the funny guy.
You're a serious dude, mate. You know what you're talking about. I know that much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Now, I have a question for you folks. Where you are, do you get much occasion to try cooking or smoking, not like meat that you don't go to the grocery store to get? Like the grocery store meat is stuff like lamb, beef, chicken, and pork. So, do you get a chance to cook stuff like elk, deer, and moose, bear, that kind of stuff? Because bear hunting and moose hunting is really big in Canada, and a moose is like literally the size of a car. I've never had a chance to try moose or deer, but there's an elk farm that's outside of Ottawa. You can go, and it's farm raised elk, and a lot of people. What happens is a lot of people. Some people they end up with autoimmune issues, so they're not able to digest beef. It starts giving them like digestive problems and stuff. So then the doctors will say, well, try eating other stuff. So they go and try eating elk, and then they're able to get the protein that they need, and it's a very lean meat and stuff. So that's one thing that I want to try kind of introducing, is like making jerky. Instead of making jerky just with beef, make jerky with elk or with deer. I've never done hunting myself. I have no problem with it, but I'd love to be able to get like a nice piece of deer and do like a deer roast and stuff. So it's.
I think we can get game here. So like stuff, like your deer, but bear. There's no such things as bears in the UK apart from in zoos. Elk, same thing. No elk in the UK.
Have you actually eaten bear, Louis?
No, I haven't. I've had beaver before, but that's a story for another day. Nothing better than Canadian beaver.
Not.
There's nothing better than Canadian beaver.
Well, no, English beaver's quite nice.
There you go.
I tend to like the ones that don't that you know they seem to have lost some of their hair.
There you go.
Anything goes in the barbecue pub club, Lou. Don't worry.
Sorry about that. I just had to move location. The wife was going to bed.
Okay.
Oh, I see. He's gone to the man cave now, look, with the fluffy cushions.
Yeah.
No, I've cooked zebra before.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What was it? A cow that you painted black and white?
No, it's a proper zebra. I've got a friend who runs an exotic meat supplier. They make sausages and stuff like that, and yeah, exotic meat. So I asked him for one of our tailgates to give me something that no one had tasted, and it was zebra.
What does it taste like? If you say chicken, I'm going.
No, it's more like kind of a little bit gamey between beef and deer, but it was very lean. Not much fat on it at all.
Okay.
What about frog legs?
I've had frog legs. I really like them. What about partridge or quail?
Yeah, quail. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that too. Yeah. We that's something that's I saw a recipe. I saw one of these shows on Food Network and stuff. One of these Guy Fieri drive-ins and dives, and he was somewhere in the States. I think it might have been somewhere in Texas and stuff. And he went to a diner where they served grilled quail with pancakes and eggs as part of their breakfast menu. So I tried that. And I really like grilled quail. My wife not so much. I think she just can't get. It's because it's such a small thing. It's just a small piece.
Yeah, you don't get much on them. Yeah.
We actually went. There was one time we went to a wedding, and it was one of these fancy weddings where the food was really upper class and stuff. And the first course was this like French-inspired salad with all these different types of lettuces and stuff, and it had a grilled quarter piece of grilled quail on the plate, and at my table I was the only one that was eating the quail because everyone was kind of like pushing it aside and just eating their salad and leaving the quail aside. It's like, that's quail, it's good. So it's yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, so I've done a Chinese style quail that's marinated in soya and chili and things like that, and then quickly on the grill.
Here in Ottawa, we have a lot of, Canada's similar to the States where, everyone's from somewhere else stuff, right? So you'll have a lot of people where either they weren't born in Canada or their parents weren't born in Canada. So they're like 1 or 2 or 3 generations. They're not 3 or 4 generations deep of all living in Canada. They're from somewhere else. So there's a large Greek community here in Ottawa, but then there's also a very, very large Middle Eastern community. So lamb is extremely popular, and I can go to like a Middle Eastern store. So there's grocery stores that only cater to they have all the Middle Eastern spices and stuff, and you can get chicken shawarma, you can get like the Lebanese pita bread and stuff, and you can get like the Middle Eastern spices. And of course they don't eat pork, so they don't have pork in the display case. So when you go there, it's all like beef, chicken, and then all possible cuts of lamb. And they'll sell whole lambs because it's a common thing where a Middle Eastern family will cook up a whole lamb for on the weekend for family and stuff. So I like lamb. My wife doesn't like as much. she's not used to like gamey type meat and stuff, but it's one of those other things that I want to try cooking more because I really enjoy it, and I think life is too short to just kind of be stuck to just eating, beef, pork, chicken. Try different things.
Try different things for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we're pretty fortunate. Like it's you go to that grocery store and the display case and stuff. They have all types, and they have every piece of the lamb too. So if you wanted to get a lamb's head to do like a soup or something, or lamb's tongue, they have everything. So I like that too. I don't like the idea where if people are, if you're going to eat something like beef or whatever, you should be at least willing to try like all the parts of the animal and stuff. Like if you're going to be in here, one, you should know how your meat gets to you and stuff. So you shouldn't be you should be aware of the fact that something like cattle has to go through a process to make it to your grocery shelves and stuff, and don't be squeamish about trying the more unusual cuts of meat. Like I'm not a big liver fan. I can't handle beef liver. It's something I've never liked and stuff, but I know that beef heart is really good, and it's something that I want to try.
I'm gonna get you a T-shirt. We did. One of the guys did beef heart at one of our events 2 years ago, and it was the worst thing I've ever tasted. Was a beef heart.
Oh, really?
And I printed some T-shirts up saying I survived the beef heart, and loads of members bought them.
I've heard
it's that bad.
Kind of have to marinate and stuff. I heard beef heart. I guess you have to make sure you trim it properly and stuff. But I hear it can be, if it's cooked properly and I guess marinated and seasoned properly, it can be quite spectacular because it has a really strong beefy flavor and stuff to it. So
no, it wasn't good.
I've not eaten a heart or anything like that. I don't.
And Ryan will know the guy. Justin cooked it.
All right.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And it was pretty bad.
He can cook pretty good, to be honest. But I'm not. I don't know if I'd fancy eating a heart. Whatever way you've done it, it must be. Really...
Is Lep asleep there?
He's probably playing with his nipples.
I'm sharing it out. I'm trying to get people in the seats. I'm sorry. Oh. Now, what was the question?
We're just talking about if you've ever tried beef heart, because I was just saying that if you're someone who's going to be eating meat and stuff, one, you should know where it comes from and not be one of these people that's naive and thinks it just shows up at your grocery store. And I think it's unrealistic that people, like when people are against hunting, but then they'll still eat beef from the grocery store. I think hunting is a great way of getting your meat, and people should be willing to try all the parts of the animal, not just the best cuts and stuff. So I was saying, I'm gonna try cooking beef heart one of these days, and I want to try cooking more stuff like lamb and quail, and just trying different things.
Yeah. I have not tried all the fancy stuff, hearts or any other organ for that matter. That would be Pickles Barbecue. He's into all that. He'd be one to reach out to, and if you need any tips on how to cook it or something, he does all that, and he likes it. So
I've cured beef tongue, the old tongue and things like that.
I want to try beef cheek. Now I heard that's good.
Yeah, beef cheek. Yeah, I did that about a month ago in tacos.
Yeah, we're talking about that.
Funnily enough, that's what I'm doing. It's either tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what day it is anymore.
And then earlier in the podcast, I was talking about Oxtail, and I did it at Christmas time, and it came out really good. I really enjoyed it.
I was gonna attempt it in my my Pit Boss smoker. I was gonna grab a couple and smoke them. I've never had them, but
It's one of those ones that I'd imagine you'd have to chuck in a, you know, almost in a Dutch oven with a braising sauce and let it just go to town on it.
The oxtail I had, it was sliced up, so it was like in discs and stuff, probably about an inch thick.
Yeah.
And of course I went on YouTube to look for a video to see if I had to trim it and stuff. And they say you don't have to trim it, just make sure you wash it so there's no bone dust wherever on it, and wash it really good. And I think I got the recipe off the Traeger website, and I just seasoned it, and then I smoked it for a couple hours with cherry wood, and it got really nice and dark mahogany. And then I braised it in a pan with some raw onions, some beer, some more spices, and I think I might have used some beef bouillon as well. So like I made, you know, like a beef stock, and then just braise it, and then it just cooks down, because it has to cook down. It has to braise in a Dutch oven or something.
They take cooking, but so worth it.
Yeah, so here was my thought. I would get a aluminum foil pan, put a rack in it, put the discs, you know how they cut them, you know, and give it smoke for about an hour or so, and then take the rack out, because you know the bone marrow and all that will be dripping, and then, like you said, beef stock and some spices and stuff like that, onion and stuff, and cover it with foil and sort of braise it in the smoker.
Yeah. One of the great things about YouTube is that anything that you think about trying to cook, someone has done it before.
Someone's done it before. Absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Speaking of Dutch ovens, I don't know if you guys have seen this trend in England. I know this is a trend in the States, but it's funny, like when COVID came and here in Canada, we've been shut down since the middle of March and stuff. You're thinking, okay, well, how are people going to react and stuff? And it's like, well, I was saying to my wife at the beginning and stuff, like, you know, when they were closing down businesses, they said which ones were essential and which ones weren't essential. So stuff like pharmacies and grocery stores are essentials, and they kept the liquor stores and the beer stores open, because it's like, well,
of course they're essential.
Yeah, so they're essential. And I was saying before, I might have mentioned before, in Ontario, where in the province where I'm from, you have to go, for the longest time, you had to go to a designated store to buy your liquor and a designated store to buy your beer. You couldn't get it at the corner store or at the grocery store, but now you can get beer at the grocery store, but you can't buy any alcohol at your local convenience store or gas station.
Okay.
So we're thinking, okay, well, that'll happen. And then it's like, oh, well, condom sales will probably go up because, you know, people will have things to do and they'll be stuck at home and stuff. But then
that's a 50-50.
Yeah,
either they buy condoms, or they have 9 months from now that everybody's got
a corona baby.
Corona baby.
Yeah. What's the name of your baby? Quarantine.
So, and then of course there was that crazy run on toilet paper when the COVID started.
Yeah, we had that. Yeah.
So, but then the point
it wasn't just the UK.
But then the point I was getting to, which made me think of Dutch ovens, is that because people are stuck at home, everyone started making bread now, and so everyone's making sourdough bread in Dutch ovens. Yeah. So for a while there, you couldn't buy yeast at the grocery store because it was all lived, and flour was also
stuff now.
So isn't that interesting, like the way people behaved when we're in lockdown and they're trying to think, well, what are we going to do? And some people said, well, now I have all this time on my hands, I'm going to start baking. So you go to the grocery store and all the flour would be sold out. And our grocery stores are quite large in Canada, same as in the States. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you could easily have like 100 bags of flour on the shelves in a grocery store, and they'd all be gone. All the yeast is gone. So people started making sourdough bread and started making their own starters and stuff. And so you'd see a lot of that on YouTube or on Instagram and stuff.
Sourdough has skyrocketed on social media, all platforms. You know, even if you're not doing a video, that here's a picture of a burger with sourdough bread. You know.
So if you were to go on like social media sites like Instagram or Twitter, whatever, and you would search for what are people posting with their Dutch ovens, I'd say the vast majority is people are posting bread that they've baked in their Dutch ovens, because now that it's getting warmer, people aren't really as interested in like doing stews and stuff in their Dutch ovens, which are great for, right? Or pit beans. It's all like it's bread everywhere.
Yeah, that's the video not to make at the moment, is a bread video in a Dutch oven, because it'll get nowhere.
Yeah, everyone's doing that right now.
There's thousands of them.
So did the same thing happen in England where everyone started making sourdough bread?
Yeah.
A good Dutch oven channel that you know, he's a friend of mine here in the States from Texas. Chef Johnny, Texas style barbecue and cuisine. He does a lot of Dutch oven videos.
Oh yeah.
I'll write that down.
I'm in a collaboration with him tomorrow at a UDS thing. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's cool. I know Dutch oven cooking is really popular in Germany and stuff too. I'll see a lot of posts there where they're cooking all sorts of stuff in their Dutch ovens, and you know, and they like making bread, and or they'll be like, oh, I made a cake in my Dutch oven, so like they'll put the coals on top of the edge. Like all their Dutch ovens have the lids and stuff, so they're putting the coals on top of the lid, and they're like, I made a cheesecake in their Dutch oven. It's like, how did you do that? So it's pretty interesting. I have a Dutch oven, but I haven't gotten around to cooking it yet. But you guys are definitely inspired to start.
Like Germany, they've got a good manufacturer of Dutch ovens, Petromax.
Yeah, I've seen that brand.
It's like Lodge in America. So when you've got a good manufacturer, you've got a good base to sell to. So it's popular. In England, we don't have that. We don't have anyone that makes good quality cast iron.
Yeah.
You can get a Petromax from Amazon, though, can't you?
Yeah, I'm saying it's not a British brand.
No, I guess not.
Yeah, Lodge.
You want to hear a funny?
Big here in Canada, and then there's also a few other brands like Finex, a few other cast iron brands as well too. But yeah.
You want to hear a funny story?
Go on.
Go on.
So I'm a black. So I'm a Blackstoner. I cook on the Blackstone flat top griddle.
Oh
okay, So hanging around with all the barbecue guys, you know, I was like the weird kid on the playground. You know, nobody wanted to play with me because I wasn't doing barbecue. I said one night I was drinking, and I said I could cook a brisket on a flat top on my Blackstone. And all the barbecue, man, all of them were like, no, you ain't doing that. No. I said, watch this. I said, hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
So I grabbed my Kingsford the vertical water smoker. I grabbed that lid, which is probably 18 inches deep. Got me a cooling rack. I got me a full packer brisket. It was about 15 pounds. When I was done trimming, it probably was about 12. Now, this is my first brisket ever in my life. And so I have the 36-inch, which has the 4 heating zones.
Oh, yeah.
So I had 2 on, 2 off where the brisket was at. Put the lid on it, and I have one of those stainless. I wish I had the tube. But I got one of those stainless steel boxes, and I grabbed a couple of wood chips, and I caught them on fire, and I put the lid over it. So it got some smoke for about hour and a half, 2 hours. And 5 hours later, I came out with the juiciest brisket anybody's ever seen. You know, obviously for how it was cooked. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
It had a slight little red ring around it, not much. You know what I mean? But the moisture was there, and what I did was I cooked it. You know, the flat always cooks different. You know, so I had waited till that got around temp, and I think I pulled it around 201, somewhere around there. And I let it rest for about 45 minutes in a cooler with a towel. And yeah, man, I surprised everybody with that one.
Just goes to show.
I followed it up with a baby back ribs also. So
wow.
So I let you know it can cook. I mean, come on, man, it's a heat source. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you need, isn't it?
I find a lot of people, especially here in Canada and stuff, like when they first get their, some of them they'll get their first, not like me where they have like 10, 12 smokers. They'll get their when they finally get away from like cooking on a gas grill and they get their first charcoal grill, whatever, or first pellet smoke. They'll get their first smoker and start doing that, and then 9 times out of 10, the next thing they get is a Blackstone griddle. Or they get some other griddle, like a gas-fired griddle, and then they're making burgers, they're making breakfast, they're making tacos and stuff. Like they'll smoke the pork on the smoker, but then they'll make tacos and stuff on the Sunday morning and stuff. And I mean, I'm tempted to get one of those Blackstones too because they're pretty slick.
Yeah. They definitely complement the barbecue. You know what I mean? Like you said, you can smoke whatever, do whatever barbecue you do, and the next day or even later, you could do tacos, quesadillas, burritos, omelets, and pizzas. I've cooked pizza on mine. So yeah, it's great, and so what I'm hearing, the buzz across the barbecue community is at these competitions, people are bringing their Blackstones and they're cooking on that and eating off of that. You know what I mean? So I had thought about getting like a trike bicycle, hooking my Blackstone up to the back of it, rolling around the comps, cooking smash burgers for everybody.
Yeah. Smash burgers are really popular. You see that all over social media and stuff.
Yeah.
I have the world's largest smash burger.
Official.
I use about 6 to 8 ounce ball of meat. I had 16 of them that I smashed. And I had them in 2 rows, so it was 8 and 8, and I put them so close together that when I smashed it, it made one long burger. So I took 2. I had to take 2 spatulas and flip it like that, both of them, and then I got this 14-inch fresh French bread, sliced it, mayonnaise, Duke's mayo, put it on the griddle, toasted it up, put the cheese in. I had cheese and onion. It was they call it the Oklahoma fried onion smash burger. So I had onions, yellow cheese, and that was it. No condiments, no nothing, man. And it's about this long, man. Big, huge slices, man. I did it for Super Bowl Sunday. So I made slivers. Of it and fed everybody, so it was pretty cool. I actually got a video of it. I did a video that was for the collaboration. What was that one, Ryan? The ultimate burger challenge or something like that.
I remember seeing it. It was a stunning video, man. It was amazing. Absolutely superb.
Yeah, so nobody's beat me there. So there's a challenge for you guys.
Not yet.
Well, like you're saying about cooking things on, not the grill that it was intended to. I've got an Argentinian grill, and I've cooked focaccia bread with the same type of thing with a lid over the top, so you've got the heat coming up and cooking it. You don't have to have the right oven to do it. You just have to adapt.
Right tool for the job.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all I ever get, man.
Yeah. Like one grill that I was one device I was looking at one time was the they call it the Caja China, which means the Chinese box. And so basically it's like a big wooden box, and it's for cooking
is it the microwave? Is it the Cajun microwave?
Yeah, like sort of like a Cajun microwave. So
Yeah.
the idea is that you have your split roasted suckling pig, and you cook it in this Caja and stuff. And I was looking at it, it's like, well, that's nice, but how, I was talking to someone who had one, and I said, after you cooked the roast pig the first time you did that, how often do you use it? He goes, never. Because it's sort of like it's like they say, oh, well, you can do it for other things and stuff too, but I just don't know how you would get like the smoke flavor into it. And they're like, well, you can adapt it to get smoke flavor into it and stuff. But I found the more I thought about it, I just found that, well, it's too one-dimensional stuff, and I like grills that you can do more things and stuff. And I think it's great that you can get these accessories where you can basically turn like an existing barbecue grill into like a griddle. You can get your stainless steel flat top, and you can stick it on a gas grill, charcoal grill, whatever, and kind of do all the same things and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of people that once they get their Blackstone, they're really happy and stuff. And you see them, they're making like tacos and quesadillas and all sorts of things on there and stuff. So,
well, that's why I try to steer away from the commons, which is your stir fries, smash burgers, tacos, and stuff like that. I try to do something outside the box, just so people aren't one-dimensional when it comes to that cooking apparatus. You know what I mean? Like we could all, as long as there's a heat source, we could cook something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like one thing that I would love to have is the rodizio, the Brazilian thing that turns.
Yeah, I have that. I have that.
Did you put on your kettle? Did you put on your kettle?
Yeah, I have that, and I find I don't use it that often. Like it's because I store it away, so it stays clean and stuff. But then it's like you kind of have to plan for it. It's like, well, you kind of have to buy the right types of protein. It's like, well, I'm going to buy picanha. Yeah,
right.
That kind of thing. I'm going to buy chicken wings. I did tacos pastor on it, which was outstanding.
Right, you could put some outside or in skirt steak. You know what I mean? Yep. And so I cooked a picanha on my Blackstone, and it was for a cooking contest called Battle of the Kitchens, which was it was on Smoking and Grilling with AB. It was on his channel. He did a little contest, and I ended up finishing third. But yeah, so people were like, "Why is he trying to cook picanha? Oh, he's gonna overcook it." So what I did was, when I put it on the flat top, I held it down and seared it real quick.
Yeah.
Flipped it, held it down again, seared it real quick. Then I put it on the fat cap, and I seared that fat cap. And then it was done. I sprinkled it with some sea salt, and it was done, man. Perfect. I was wow. And I didn't even temp it. You know what? I probably did, but I realized I was way under where I was supposed to be, so I was able to leave it go with I had like a hamburger press or bacon press, whatever you want to call it, something cast iron and heavy on it. And yeah, man, it came out perfect. And I had lost that round, which pretty much sucked because I did something nobody else has done on a damn Blackstone.
It's not something that people would think to do. Cook a picanha on a griddle. But yeah, because when you think of griddle, you just think of the regular stuff like burgers, pancakes, omelets, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah. Now,
Could I ask you a question? You're on about you're doing your picanha, and you just said you added salt. Now, there's a bit of a debate about seasoning your meat before you cook with black pepper. Does it burn or doesn't it burn?
On the picanha, like if it was cooked on a rodizio, you would probably season it sea salt and cracked black pepper.
Yeah,
but since I was putting it on the griddle, I didn't want that any seasoning to burn, so I cooked it naked, and I sprinkled it afterwards as it was resting.
Yeah, so that's the question I'm asking, because there's a lot of debate about, does the black pepper burn when it's, when you're searing like a steak or something like that?
I think it does.
I'd definitely say it does.
I believe it does.
Yeah, I wouldn't season a steak with pepper. If when I cook a steak, I'll put oil on it. In fact,
salt it.
I salt it.
Not black pepper.
Yeah, no, I won't put the pepper on it much. It's done. Serving.
One cooking technique that's gotten really popular over the last couple of years is the doing steaks reverse sear.
Yeah.
So you smoke you take your steaks, you smoke them for like an hour, and then you sear them off and stuff. And I've never done that because I don't know, maybe I really like grilling steaks, so I like kind of searing them and doing the way I've always done them. But I just don't have, like, if I'm going to be cooking steaks and stuff, I want to cook them quick over charcoal. I don't want to want to be smoking them for an hour and then resting them and then grilling them and then sear them off really fast. I know that I've seen the results and I know it works and stuff. But yeah, it seems like everyone does this now, and it's like, if you're gonna do a steak or you're gonna do a rib roast and stuff, you got to reverse sear it. And
it all depends on how thick your meat is, to be honest.
I did some ribeye steaks about 3 weeks ago, exactly like that, reverse sear, and the wife said they were the worst steaks I've ever cooked.
It's the thickness of your meat,
No,
like that's what she said.
That's what she said. Yeah. Like I say, normally straight on the grill, done. But like reverse sear, she says no. There's worst steaks you've ever cooked.
Yeah, just like some people like doing they like smoke, like on a pellet grill, they'll smoke their burgers, and then. Because one of the many knocks against pellet grills, it's like, well, you can't sear. And some pellet manufacturers, they get around that by having like a baffle over the firebox that you can slide over so you can get flames and stuff. Yeah. But like some people are like, oh no, you got to smoke your burgers and stuff to have like the best flavor. And it's like, that's never interested me because I know what smoked meat tastes like, and it's good in some cases. But with a burger, I want to cook it on my griddle or on my charcoal grill, and I want to cook it fast and get like the I don't want to be smoking burgers for like an hour because I'm always worried that it's gonna dry out, or it's just gonna give it like
dry,
like a cheap
flavor,
like a cheap meat taste to it and stuff. So
that's what the problem. My wife doesn't actually like smoked meat. So I get, you smoking the food again? Yeah. Oh, I don't like smoked meat, but slow and slow is the way to go.
I got into smoking. I got into barbecuing and stuff because my brother-in-law, my wife's oldest brother, Brian, he got a large green egg, and then he got a Weber and stuff. So one summer I spent a lot of time cooking with him and stuff, and we'd smoke ribs and stuff, and that's how I kind of got into it and stuff. But the way he is and stuff is like, oh no, you can never clean your grill because that's how you season it and stuff. So his big green egg, he would never do a clean burn. He didn't know what a clean burn was.
No.
He's like, oh no, that's how you season it and stuff. But then everything that comes off his grill tastes the same. And my wife did not like that. And she goes, I like the way that you cook and stuff because I do like proper maintenance on my grills and I do clean burn and stuff. So you don't have like a buildup of grease and stuff. I think it's a fallacy when people think, oh no, you gotta, if you have a smoker, you gotta let all that black stuff on there because that's the season. Especially like on a large egg.
Burn. You want a good clean burn when you're smoking meat.
Can you grab me a beer out of the bar fridge over there, please?
I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to have to close this down. Can you hear the feedback sort of stuff coming through on your end?
Sorry, what's that?
I'm getting a funny sort of sound coming through on my end.
You on about the seasoning on the grill and that?
I took one of my headphones out, so I thought maybe that was the sound. Sorry, the question was about seasoning the grill.
Well, no, you're on about like the flavour of your meat that you cook on your grill is better than your brother-in-law's. Yeah, because I clean the grill and stuff so that way everything just doesn't have like the same taste to it, and I think like a clean grill is a happy grill, especially when you're dealing with a pellet grill. If you don't clean your pellet grill, what it ends up happening is that you get an excess of like almost like sawdust at the bottom of your grill, and so if you don't vacuum that out periodically, the fan will start blowing that all through the grill, and then next thing you know, you have sawdust all over your food. So it's important. And then some people make the mistake of not cleaning the grill, and then they'll get like a grease fire or something. So it's like. Yeah, but it's funny. Like I have these arguments with my brother-in-law because he's like, "Oh no, you never clean your grill. That's flavor, that's the seasoning and stuff." And
yeah, it's not.
But then people who eat his food and stuff say everything tastes the same. Everything tastes the same. It's good, but
like I say, they use different flavored what's the name, pellets, like a fruit wood or.
Yeah,
it all tastes the same because it's tarnished.
Yeah, but even like on a charcoal grill and stuff, if you don't clean it out every once in a while, be it a Weber or a green egg or whatever have you, if you don't clean it out and stuff like that, then when that buildup heats up from the grill and stuff, that's going to get on your food, and then I mean, us guys, we're not going to care because it's meat that we cooked over a fire and stuff. But usually, our significant others will complain that everything tastes the same. So, I'm fortunate enough that my wife likes smoked meat, like she likes smoked food and stuff.
Yeah.
She likes salmon, but that I'm trying to get her exposed to that and trying to work on that with her, but. She never says, "Oh, everything tastes the same," or she never complains, "Oh, are you going to smoke that?" I try to do other things like, "Oh, I should bake cookies on the smoker," like, I want to go and cook cookies on the Traeger, and she goes, "Please don't." But they're going to be really good. No. Some things she's not willing to experiment with yet, but. I'm working on it.
You can make nice stuff on smokers, man. That's like sweet stuff.
That's it. I've just done a video actually today for, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Cast Iron Wednesdays.
Yeah, I've
it's on YouTube, and obviously what it is, it's cooking for cast on a Wednesday, and it's their second anniversary. So every month this year, you cook it something specific. So this time is a dessert. So I've been cooking a dessert today in cast iron.
Ooh. Oh, that's cool.
Right then, guys. And, unfortunately, I know we want to carry on talking, but I am very aware that we have a very limited amount of hours that we can use StreamYard for free.
No problem.
So we are going to have to call it a night, I think, and we're going to have to close the bar.
Oh, that's fine. I really enjoyed.
I want to say thanks to Lou for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You've been a really good guest, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on, Steve. And wherever he's gone, he's obviously gone to play with his nipples.
Cheers, folks.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night. Have a great Father's Day, everyone.
Oh, there he is. He's back now.
We're going, man. We're running out of time on stream.
I understand that. I got a phone call. I apologize, man.
No worries, buddy.
Hey, nice meeting you guys, man.
Yeah.
Good show.
Thank you all for jumping in at the end. And yeah, see you again next week. And yeah, once again, thanks Lou for swinging on in and entertaining us.
Anytime. Thank you, gentlemen.
Come on.
See you guys.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Yeah. Bye bye.
Yeah. Stay safe.